Countdown Cup at least was a 6-0, but no tournament there because we go straight to the playoffs, and in playoffs, the San Francisco Shock, they might be in the lower bracket, but right now they are the team to beat. They are the kings of the lower bracket, and everyone needs to fear this.
Also Schocker, hätte er das rausgehauen?
That could affect Sojourn performance for both of these.
I mean, someone on the Florida Mayhem, he's one of the most aggressive Winstons we have in the entire league. So that is going to give Hydron the space he needs to create these first eliminations. If you take a look at the elimination stats on Sojourn, Hydron is a top 5 Sojourn in that category. So that is definitely helping the Florida Mayhem throughout these playoffs, being able to get that first pick. That is going to open up the door for some of these team fight wins. On the other hand, you have Schau on the Schau Spark. He is a premier Sojourn player for this team. I'd say he's top 3 in the entire league. And they even built a composition in the June Just, of course, around Schau's proficiency at this hero. So as we head over to Busan here, bit of an interesting map choice, I gotta say, Negra.
First for Hangzhou Spark overall.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have as much...
To be fair, ich würde behaupten, Schau und Lib sind die besten Sojourn-Spieler in der gesamten Liga. Schau hat so viele Clutch-Plays für Spark gehabt schon. Das ist insane. Genauso wie Lib.
You don't commit as much practice time onto this map, so that could maybe be a bit of a difficulty for the Hangzhou Spark, Florida Mayhem acknowledging that weakness. I do want to say as well, though, that I don't want to stress the importance of Hangzhou Spark actually getting off to a good start here. They're one of the weakest teams in the playoffs when it comes to escort maps, but also push game mode, which is going to be our 4th map of this series, right? So if you're at Hangzhou Spark, you really need to be able to rely on hybrid maps, which is our 2nd game mode, and these control maps that are being played first and last in these series. So if you're a Hangzhou Spark fan, you want to see them get off to a good start here on Busan.
The gates are going to open up, and for both of these teams, we will see what has been meta so far for this playoff stage, and that is going to be those Sojourn Reaper compositions with Winston at the helm. Already, Florida Mayhem is going to make their way up to the high ground, but it's going to be a jockey for position here as Gushue is going to start to get a bit more aggressive. Hydron, though, charging up that railgun, is going to start to look for a pick, using that disruptor shot to try to blow away the backline. But someone's already down, so the front line for Florida Mayhem has been washed away, and that's going to have to be a big reset.
Das ist big für Terror. Ich glaube, wir hatten Terror mal gesehen, die Stats. Der hatte 8k Damage oder 7k Damage auf Dingens, auf Keiko.
As I mentioned, he likes to go on these wide angles and force out some cooldowns, and right there, hitting 2 headshots on the Florida Mayhem, opening up the doors for the Spark.
Er hat so einen aggressiven Playstyle, das ist insane. Und droppt einfach auf dem. Das ist so scary in der League. Oh, was haben wir noch so noch? Jesus.
So throughout this series, I really want to have a look at someone on that Winston for Florida Mayhem, how much space he can create for the rest of his team. Right there, you're seeing him dive pretty far in, even challenging a Reaper, which is known as the counter to Winston, but he wins out that duel and creates enough space for his partner in crime, Checkmate, there on the Reaper. Checkmate, he's been a bit questionable so far in the playoffs, but he really had a standout performance against the Atlanta Reign. We're looking to see him continue that in this series against the Spark.
Well, as he's working up to that Death Blossom as well, maybe Checkmate will continue to play a bit more aggressively, but with a huge pick onto Hydron to start things off.
Für Sojourn. Spark muss hier weh drücken. Man könnte jetzt argumentieren, dass der Kitsune erwächtet war. Ich würde nein sagen. Kitsune hast du so schnell. Das ist insane. Von daher, ich denke, das war Worth. Vor allem, weil sie noch andere Ults haben zum Rumspielen. Die haben legit 4 Ults. Für den Point zu securen. Perfekt. Problem ist, Mayhem hat jetzt 5 Ults, ne? Okay, Mayhem wird hier sehr wahrscheinlich mit Kitsune runwashen. Super Witch wird hier wahrscheinlich Beat ziehen. Animal wird Counter Beat ziehen. Und maybe eine der 2 DPS Ults. Wenn Schau hier ultet, zieht Someone Primal von Primal the Soldier. Und wenn bis dahin keine Kills gibt, zieht Hydron sehr wahrscheinlich auch Overclock.
We've seen Alpha here really stick close to Gushui on this Winston, trying to win those neutral fights and get a health advantage early on. Alpha is setting up for the Death Blossom. This could be crucial right here.
Look at where he's sneaky. Just gonna go in with the
Das
Death
ist.
Blossom. The Suicide
Oh, der Main
Bomb
Damage.
to keep him safe.
Ganzer Push
The big
down.
onto Hydron.
Wieso Prime der?
Be a big team fight win here for Hangzhou, but Florida Mayhem
Der
is
Beat?
investing resources. It's gonna
What?
be double support ultimates with the Kitsune
Okay.
Rush as well as the sound barrier, but it
That's
was
so
a
sad.
little too late to be able to save someone's life. So Florida Mayhem
Oh,
has
no.
to try again.
Yeah, Florida Mayhem getting a bit antsy there, utilizing both.
Dein Main Damage, denn es Sojourn stirbt. Der Kolberstab war zwar instant wahrscheinlich. Aber wieso hat someone hier geprimet? Er hätte nicht primen dürfen. Weil das war die Kettenreaktion, als Double Supporter gezogen wurde.
So now you're down 3 ultimates and we're getting close to last fight territory here, Necro.
Well, Schau's gonna try to end things now as he does go ahead and pop the overclock just a little bit as Hydron also trying to make his way back to the point and get a pick of his own.
This ends
Still
now.
has yet to use the Death Blossom, so that's another tool that Florida Mayhem can rely upon in order to take back control. But it looks like you might not even need it if you're Florida, as
Oh,
you have
this-
Shy and Alpha removed from Hangzhou Spark, and Florida Mayhem take back the point in just
Das ist jetzt scary für Florida. Spark hat hier wieder Dingens, Kitsune Rush. Und die haben nur Checkmates Blossom.
the nick of time.
Die haben kein Defense Ult, kein gar nichts. Checkmate muss jetzt ein paar Picks machen. Mit der Blossom. Am besten die Sojourn oder Keiko. Einer von den zwei.
Okay, well, he looks like he's just gonna go ahead and use those Hellfire shotguns to get up close and personal with the Spark. Is the Spark make a quick
Oh, die.
contribution, but as someone dies
Ich glaube, der geht
aggressively,
deep.
is gonna go ahead and force out both
So
with
scary.
the doubles. That provides a pretty nice opening here for Checkmate to go in with the Death Blossom if he wants to.
So Teru has this Kitsune rush right here, but the Florida Mayhem, I think they're going to acknowledge here that they have
Kitsune?
this fight.
Da kommt der
There
Blossom.
you go. It's gonna be a huge, fast fight, but a pretty
Ah,
dead
lucky.
Checkmate as he goes in to use the Death Blossom and right into the loving arms of the Hangzhou Spark with that damage boost and that movement speed that was enabled.
Die Call hat
by
viel
the
früher
Kitsune
umkommen
Rush.
müssen.
And so just like that, objective number 1 secured for Hangzhou.
And there you go. That's why we
Der
respect
Call
so
hat
much
früher
what
kommen
we see
müssen.
Hangzhou Spark so much. That this volatility in the performance of their game, Shy having a great round to kick things off there as well, and Alfie on that Reaper sticking close to Gushui. This is a very good fundamental style when it comes to this composition right here, and I'm impressed by the Spark so far. Florida Mayhem, let's see if they can use that aggression in their favor and catch the Spark off guard.
Yeah, maybe after Gushui uses a cooldown,
Okay, prinzipiell hier wollen sie über. Also die Sojourn wird sehr wahrscheinlich öfter hier in der Pit stehen. Oder hier in den High Grounds. An diesen kleinen Ecken.
Florida Mayhem can capitalize when that
Das ist der
or
Punkt, wo die
even
Sojourn eigentlich
the
spielen will.
Reaper Wraith form isn't available. So that way maybe Florida can go in and carve out an opportunity for themselves. But it looked like a pretty solid round there for Spark, pretty dominant.
Pretty dominant indeed. So now, Hangzhou Spark, they're of course going to utilize the Symmetra teleport to get our spawn early here. Alfie, use that in your ranked games. That's really helpful. Gives you the rollout, and now we get to see both teams clashing.
Yes, they're both going to meet each other on
Hier halt schon keinen Off-Angle. Nein, nicht wirklich.
the high
Vergiss es.
ground of Mecha Base, our second round here on Busan.
Schei hat hier einen Off-Angle.
Schau
Definitiv.
taking an off angle to try to charge up that railgun, looking for a snipe. Gonna wait for the perfect opportunity as you see Hydron.
Oh,
try to
scary.
grab an elimination as well.
Versucht den
Now
Reaper
the
zu killen.
Winston's dueling around this
Nice
pillar,
pick.
but huge from Hydron.
Oh,
Snipe
Schei ist
out
dead.
Gushui and the rest of the
Das war die
Hangzhou
falsche
Spark
Richtung,
are going
Kollege.
to fall. Florida Mayhem will be able to go get the point capture in a bit.
And that is exactly what you want to see from Hydron if you're a fan of the Florida Mayhem. Being able to find these picks early on, I mentioned the first elim rate when it comes to his Sojourn play. It's spectacular so far in the playoffs. Florida Mayhem, they have that aggression going for them, but they need to capitalize on this positioning. Look to Hydron to open things up for the Mayhem.
I mean, Hydron's already gonna play a little bit aggressive here.
Oh, Teru, what are you doing?
That the Hangzhou Spark have to go back and get a reset again.
Er hätte sich einfach raustippen können. Wieso nimmt er den Fight gegen eine fucking
Hydron's already a
Sojourn?
little bit aggressive here to
I'm not gonna win it, bro.
Reset again. This Hydron's just gonna keep him at the door too. Someone with the Tesla cannon damage, just grabbing that poke. Nice rotation here from
Hydron will hier wieder ein Off-Angle.
make sure that they've got both of these entry points on lock.
Doch nicht.
Spark, though, they're back as a full team of 5.
Oh, nicer Pick für Schei.
Okay, Schei just getting the Sojourn diff at the moment. Maybe that opens things up for Hangzhou Spark to get
Das ist ein W.
as Schei has earned himself the overclock, but if you're able to win the fight outright, then
Huge.
So I'm a bit surprised there by the Florida Mayhem's movement. They decided to back off pretty early there, but because they won that first fight.
Das Beste ist, Spark hat den Fight hier gewonnen, ohne Ults zu investieren. Das ist so gut für Spark. Weil dadurch haben sie jetzt fast 5 Ults ready. Können das perfekt zeigen. Bevor das hier durchgeht. Das Problem hier ist, Someone hat Primal. Gushway wird ausgesprochen, glaube ich. Auf jeden Fall der Winston von Spark hat keine Primal. Oder it's close. Je nachdem, wann Hydron hier primalt, ist es schwierig für den Winston die Sojourn zu contesten. Und die Primal. Während Someone einfach auf Schall springen kann. Ja. Beide Primals auf Cooldown. Oh.
But it's not the worst thing in the world. Super Rich there.
And a stagger.
Sound barrier for the Hangzhou Spark, ensuring they win that fight. Animo still on the Florida Mayhem. He has that sound barrier.
Animo hat zweimal die Sound Barrier. Ich denke, dass sie mit der pushen werden. Also ich würde hier mit Overclock Sound Barrier pushen. Ja. Spark. I don't know. Entweder müssen das direkt wegampen. Oder beide DPS wird ziemlich die Sound Barrier zu burnen. Eins von beiden.
Advantage. So let's see the Florida Mayhem if they can go aggressive with this sound barrier and win the fight before the Hangzhou Spark finds a pick.
Yeah, I would love to see that as well, especially when Hydron has the overclock too. Oh, but the
Ja.
at the door here from Alpha Yi, the Suzu on top, and there is the late sound barrier from Animo after they've already survived the initial pressure from Hangzhou.
Das. Yeah.
Veteran experience as well.
Unfortunate.
You see the
Oh, big one.
things up here for the checkmate. The cherry on top of you, Will.
Yeah,
Big blossom.
that's it.
Big blossom.
Checkmate for Florida. Gonna be a point flip for them.
Es wird zwar eigentlich nur Cleanup, aber
Huge investment on both sides. Of course, Florida Mayhem committing both the
immer gut sowas zu sehen.
As we take a look at the replay here with checkmate. This is what you want to see if you're a Reaper main. I know Malik gets his home. He's a Reaper main. He's smiling somewhere. He's watching that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He's smiling somewhere.
They're able to pop off there and get those 3-player picks are absolutely fun to watch, but we
Oh, das ist ein ganz wildes Setup für Mayhem. Das ist das, was ich eben gesagt habe. Hydron spielt ja den Highground. Weil dadurch kannst du jetzt hier durch diese 2 Pillar schießen. Auf den Choke, keiner.
are starting to enter into last fight
Ja, was Choke nennen kann.
as Florida Mayhem continue to rack up percentage on this point. Hydron taking a high ground position.
Oh!
Flank, the disruptor shot from
This needs to be
behind,
big.
especially after Schei was able to
Oh,
get
das
Checkmate
ist.
out of the way, but maybe Hydron's lack of
Yeah.
weapons for this team fight is actually working against them here.
Yeah, you need to find that opening though, and it's so hard if you're a Sojourn player, right? Because yes, you have that positioning, but the
Das Timing.
Gushu is in the way on this Winston, commanding the presence in that front line. So Hydron looking for a flank there, doesn't turn out too great. Hangzhou Spark here, we're getting close to
Timing von Hydron war hier unfortunate.
Okay, looks like maybe Florida Mayhem tried to go for a sneak attack there as you saw them crouch
Last
their way into this
fight,
fight. But as
so
Kitsune
langsam.
rushed for Teru, Super Rich uses the sound barrier on top.
Alpha muss hier
Gonna layer down the Kitsune as
gut
well
drücken.
as Alpha Yi goes in for a Death Blossom flank, but doesn't look like there's
Ah.
gonna be anybody for him to go after. Gushui's just gonna
Oh.
down Animo,
Wenn er den Pick findet.
remove him from the battlefield as this flame
Also scary. Das ist jetzt hart. Der Main Tank ist dead. Alpha ist dead. Für Spark. Das ist ein very fucking fast Reset. Das bedeutet, Lucy müsste hier zurückampen mit Terror. Du machst einmal einen Recruit. Im Highground am besten. Und sich dann deine zwei DPS holst. Weil das ist nicht mehr winnable. Oh, big one. Starting. Overclock. Checkmate wird hier gut drücken. Okay. Flying Reaper. Ah, lucky. Mark hätte das dann backuppen müssen. Als Gushway gestorben ist.
Oh yeah, I mean, being able to swift step over to the Lucio too makes it really easy to grab access, make sure you can save your teammate, and it really did play a huge role in Florida Mayhem being able to get that point back. But I want to see what happened here with maybe the checkmate Death Blossom. What happened?
Finds a nice pick onto Alpha E right there. Two actually. And that is going to secure the point. 83% for Florida Mayhem, but they get the cap there, which means they only have to win that last fight and they get the round. So again,
ist alles nur, weil Gushway ein bisschen zu greedy auf dem Lucio war.
Sanctuary, one of the smallest control maps that still exists. And it's going to be Hangzhou Spark beating Florida Mayhem to the punch there to get to that control point. But with the positioning that Hangzhou Spark is taking, you'll see the angle that shot.
Okay, ist das big. Actually, Pico's dead für mich. Anyways. In dem Moment, man hat hier gerade Schau rüberspringen? Ne, nicht Schau. Hydron rüberspringen sehen. Müsste der Call von Gushway kommen, dass die Sojourn jetzt dead ist. Du willst dieses Sojourn jetzt diven. Mit Winston und Reaper. Das ist doch genau das, was sie probieren. Man backt aber. Hat er weg. Das ist aber ziemlich bad für Spark, weil er seine Kiriko dead ist. Oh, das ist...
So this is going to be interesting. If there was any point in the control map right here, we would see some teams swap to Tracer to navigate these flanks and shut down these Sojourns. This would be the point. But instead, both teams, they're sticking to the Reaper here, which means that the Winston and the Reaper, they're going to control these very tight choke points rather, and we're going to see big plays coming out of the Sojourn. So look out for Hydron and Schau to find this pick early.
Yeah, well, someone already went on to the right-hand side, jumped in right away to be able to force the front line of Hangzhou Spark back, but Schau gonna remove that Reaper for Florida Mayhem from the field, and that's just another reset as Hangzhou Spark start working up past 40%.
So how do you deal with this if you're Florida Mayhem? I'd like to see them go on the left side here to perhaps gain some space towards...
Actually, das ist eine gute Frage von dem Caster, da will ich ein bisschen drauf eingehen. Was würde Florida Mayhem hier machen? Du hast zwei Optionen. Oder eigentlich ein paar. Mehr als zwei. Entweder du fightest hier weiter, bis du irgendwann einen Pick findest, was dumm wäre. Das wäre actually dumm. Du gehst hier rechts rum als Team. Du gehst hier links rum als Team. Oder, was sie jetzt machen, dein Team steht hauptsächlich hier und die Sojourn bleibt hier. Versucht den Aufhänger zu bekommen, I don't know. Und hofft, dass irgendwas passiert. Was ich aber besser finde, wenn die Kiriko dann hier in dem Punkt spielt. So kann sie mir der Sojourn helfen, wenn sie gedived wird. Bei Orbis, die sehen das. Die wissen, von wo sie abgeschossen werden. Und Zero kann gleichzeitig hier Main helfen, falls die das pushen.
The point, but instead looking like they're going to challenge the spark here in main. Schau has such a beautiful vantage point here on the point. He's going to look for
Ja.
once more, but it's Hydron this time who opens it up.
Okay, well,
Wir haben das hier gebackupt, weil sie Hydron hier in dem Highground. Weil sie Hydron hier in dem Highground gesehen haben. Und gewusst haben, okay, das ist scary.
now Schau though taking the angle with the overclock, hoping to even the
And the point.
score. But yeah, Florida Mayhem gonna grab the point capture right underneath Hongshou Spark. Schau though still finding elimination as Super Rich goes for the sound barrier to help sustain the Hongshou Spark through this fight. And I think the overclock and the sound barrier worked here. Hongshou Spark going to take back
Nach dem Match brauche ich noch einen Kaffee.
There are few players that are as lethal with that overclock as Schau. Hydron not finding that value himself. But once more, we find ourselves in a situation where Animo is building that sound barrier. And Thermogel is pretty close to this.
Oh, Schau ist ziemlich aggressive hier.
They might push aggressive here with Tiro.
But I think the biggest differentiating factor is that Alpha Yi has the Death Blossom ready and approaching.
Man sieht ja auch einen kleinen Unterschied, wie beide Teams es halten. Vorher hat man gesehen, dass Meyer auf der Seite vom Choke war. Wir haben das auf der rechten Seite gehalten. Ja. Ja doch, die haben das hier im offenen Teil gehalten. Während Spark nur der Winston hier steht. Und dein Team so irgendwie herumcyclen tut. Deine Sojourn steht hier ziemlich main. So wie ich das sehe. Macht eigentlich nur ein bisschen Poke.
Last fight territory. If you got Kitsune Rush and you have the Reaper, you can
Instant
get a
backup.
ton of value out of just the Hellfire shotguns and of course the Death Blossom.
Fair enough.
Oh! With a huge pick onto
Sweet.
Super Rich, so removing that Lucio, removing that ability to rotate around as Gooshway
It's
just
this
tries
one.
to get Hydron
Get him.
out of the way, but the bubble will not be enough to save Gooshway from the damage lineup of the Florida Mayhem as they also invest Sound Barrier and Primal Rage into that point cap.
And that is the important part, right?
Yeah.
As soon as Gushui noticed that Super Rich got picked, there is a 4 versus 5 fight right here. But we don't need to win this fight. We need to just win one single team fight remaining. So Gushui, he jumps onto Animo to force that sound barrier unnecessarily out. And that is going to be a huge factor right here when Gushui and Alpha Yi comes back into this fight.
Yeah, now you don't have that sound barrier as a response to the Death Blossom that Alpha Yi has held on to. Already looking at the Winston headshot to be able to just help pressure the Florida Mayhem back. But Checkmate's got a Death Blossom online as well and is looking for an opportunity to weave that through the Winston
Ist das mal die Control?
Just
Oh, das wird ein Sneaky Blossom. Let's
Let's
go.
oh, the Death Blossom here from Checkmate is not
Ah.
going to be enough as Schau.
Death Blossom ist so sad mittlerweile.
Now Gooshway has his back against the wall as he's looking to
Ich weiß nicht, für was es ist genau. Ah, Death Blossom fühlt sich irgendwie useless an.
Still finding picks with a Winston in his face. And Teru now, I mean, we're entering into the last fight here, Johnny.
Da war auch einer Kiriko liegen.
Still has that overclock. Gushui with the Primal Rage and the sound barrier for the Hangzhou Spark. Look to Gushui to put pressure onto Hydron. They cannot allow Hydron to go rampage with this overclock.
No, and so I think that might just be Gooshway using the
Sparks, Winston, Gushwell. Wird hier Hydron Primal. Sobald Hydron Overclock zieht Gushwell Primal, wenn nicht sogar früher.
Primal Rage to get up and close and personal in his face.
Here we go.
Hydron, though, using the overclock, just going to use that movement to try to get away from Gooshway's positioning as the Primal Rage is
Big one.
hunting him down and throwing him against
Nice
the
Primal.
wall.
Animo hat versucht, ihn zu saven, aber keine Chance.
Should give Hongshou Spark an opportunity to get rid of the Florida Mayhem.
Spark hat das hier.
Checkmate, Thermogel.
Oh, und
Steven.
They're not
deine Kiriko ist dead?
wanna close out the map here. That is 3 picks for Florida.
Das ist
Sneaky back cap
bad.
coming in from Hongshou, but it's really just Winston and Lucio on the point, and against Checkmate's DPS output, Super Rich is down.
Unlucky.
He's trying to get away, and that's
There you go.
Florida Mayhem first
Wow.
map to them.
Jo. Oh, das da war unlucky für May, für Spark.
And that's really important. You were talking about
Was
how
geht ab?
Hangzhou Spark kind of needed this win in just the way that the map pool is going to progress. Hangzhou Spark decide to
Das war unlucky.
Hangzhou Spark's hybrid map win rate is super impressive.
Yes.
You had been, teasing out that Hangzhou Spark's
Top
probably
3,
the
in
best.
fact.
Yeah, top 3 hybrid win. I think it's 70% or
Yeah.
something ridiculous.
This is by far Hangzhou Spark's best game mode. So again, stressing the importance. If you're a Hangzhou Spark fan, this is the kind of map you want to see them win in this series, and perhaps give them a lifeline when it comes to the later game modes. We got Escort on the horizon and push for that map 4. But here we go, Paraiso.
Bevor wir erst anfangen, ich brauche einen Kaffee. Das wird sonst hart. Okay, here we go. Kaffeevollautomaten sind ekelhaft. Ich habe kein Wasser mehr. Mach die Schale leer. Ah. Nervig.
Yeah, typically we do see
Vor allem ist meiner ein bisschen undicht.
which is going to be Florida Mayhem in this case for this first round. Set up on this kind of initial high ground, but then make a quick rotation towards the back.
What a
when they
finger.
do see the enemy
Wieso wackelt das hier so?
teams start to approach them. But for now, it's just going to be some high ground presence towards the front for Florida, getting that Tesla cannon damage down when they can, and also
Okay. Geht da einfach mal kurz rüber, weil es eine neue Map ist.
to approach them. But for now, it's just going to be some high ground.
Du willst hier den Highground halten. Hier, wenn du ein bisschen Whisky spielen willst, ein bisschen Poke, ein bisschen dies, das. Wechsel aber eigentlich instant ab in Richtung Punkt. Dein DPS, also sprich in dem Fall Hydron, wird hier hinten auf dem Highground spielen. Wenn du das halten willst. Und dann auf den Punkt zurückfallen und den Highground backuppen. Reaper und Checkmate müssten hier in dem Sunclaw spielen. Sodass sie eventuell auch droppen könnten, wenn sie brauchen. Aber ja. Du spielst hier an dem Punkt nicht daneben. Du backst eigentlich, sobald größerer Damage kommt, direkt zum Punkt ab. Und hältst den Schock hier.
Presence towards the front for Florida, getting that Tesla cannon damage down when they can, and also the poke there as Hydron looks to try to charge up these rail guns. Checkmate's getting a little low here as Teru starts to.
Teru is off mission.
I mean, that's kind of what you expect from that player, though, right?
Scary.
What do you expect from that player? Got Gushway diving up there, trying to.
Teru macht wieder dasselbe.
Teru again on the flank. What is this, man?
Oh mein Gott, er geht deep.
He's just gonna go back there using the Suzu pretty selfishly to make sure that he can get the heck out of dodge, get back
Scheiß
to the
das.
team, but it's going.
Deswegen bin ich kein Freund davon, was Teru hier gerade gemacht hat. Imagine. Ich mag zwar Flanky Sojourns. Flanky Rikos. Aber das ist ein bisschen deep. Gibt jetzt zwei Optionen. Teru stirbt hier. Oder er muss sein Suzu benutzen und raus TPen. Obvious, er hat den Suzu benutzt und ist raus TPen. Teru überlebt das. Wäre enough für ihn. Das Problem ist, der Main Damage Shy. Wir wissen als Suzu ist raus.
He's just gonna go back there using the Suzu
Und Shy ist hier dead.
pretty selfishly to make sure that he can get the heck out of dodge.
Hier. Shy wird das ein bisschen early diven. Vor dem Winston. Kriegt massiven Damage von der Sojourn und dem Winston. Fällt hier low. Und wird jetzt gefinished.
Get back to his team, but it's going to leave Schau vulnerable when that Suzu is not available for that immortality. So Hongzhou Spark, they lose Schau, they lose Gushway, Florida Mayhem smell blood.
Das ist echt hier auf Teru.
As they push Hongzhou Spark back towards their spawn.
Yeah, that's the
Man kann sich
reason
drüber
why
streiten,
right
ob das
there,
Smurf war,
Teru, he's on these flanks,
was
he's
Teru da gemacht hat.
this bell, right? And that is unable to save Shy in the
Ich bin kein Freund von.
Perhaps Teru, he needs to stop with these flanks and help out his team instead. I do want to take a look at Gushway though, because he's
Ich
pushing
bin
these
kein Freund
guys
davon.
onto the high ground, and perhaps that will find an opening for the rest of his team. Alpha Yi, for example, on that Reaper, trading bubbles here, and Alpha Yi is up on the high ground, trying to find an
Versuchen den
advantage.
Highground
So
wieder
far,
zu contesten.
Florida Mayhem, they're holding strong.
I mean, there's just been a nice call and response here for Florida as Gushway jumps in.
Ist so hart, diesen Choke zu cracken.
Back into the action, but everybody on Florida Mayhem is playing pretty
Oh.
safe, just within the architecture of the map. Teru takes a fall. Hydron though does get a.
Shy?
Oh, Shy's gone crazy.
Shy things.
Okay, why did he?
Oh, die
why
Primal.
is he called Shy? He's not really that shy of a player now, is he?
No. Pretty aggressive.
Big Primal.
Someone's going to go out and save there with a nice primal
Someone
break
hat's
here.
gerade gesaved
This is the
damit.
thing though, Hangzhou Spark, they've taken so long to really contest this high ground that for them.
Das Problem hier ist, May musste irgendwas machen. Weil Shy hat einfach Pick nach Pick geholt. Das bedeutet, du musst hier irgendwie Shy pressure. Kann am besten Sambo mit der Primal. Die kam gerade auf Cooldown. Das Problem hier ist, Shy hat jetzt Overclock.
They've been able
Und
to
Someone hat keine
also
Primal.
see the primal rage coming out from from someone.
Die haben nur den Beat.
But they already have the sound barrier themselves. They already have this Kitsune rush, which gives Florida Mayhem the options.
Ob der Beat reicht für die Overclock? I don't know.
Because they can drop back towards the point. So for the Hangzhou Spark, this is really about winning team fights. They're just gonna go for the points.
Kitsune?
Alright, well, it is going to be dueling Kitsune rushes, but as Super Rich goes down, he doesn't have the ability to build up to that sound barrier anymore. And Gushui gets taken out before he's able to activate that primal rage. But smarter those ultimates if you are
Wie verlieren die das?
you have a minute and a half remaining to try to even
Yeah, one job.
first point.
And again, it's beautiful ultimate management from the Florida Mayhem. Now you want 2 fights.
Ich würde hier unten drunter durchampen. Wenn ich Spark wäre. Ich würde hier unten drunter durchampen jetzt. Instant entweder den Highground oder Point nehmen. Und dann anfangen zu ulten.
The first one with Primal Rage, and the second one with only so much as Kitsune Rush. So now with 1 minute, 20 seconds to go, you still have Hydron with the Overclock. You still have the Death Blossom to go. But here
Big pick.
They've been looking for that all
Big
night long.
pick.
Yeah, maybe a little bit the high risk, high reward play actually being a reward.
Sag, das mal ziemlich schnell hintereinander.
As that giant threat in Hydron has been eliminated. Hangzhou Spark are absolutely going to move on this one as Super Rich is going to invest the sound barrier to allow Hangzhou Spark to get aggressive.
Oh, im Death Blossom.
The Death Blossom, Alpha Yi just goes in, it takes him out. So now,
Death Blossom ist so useless mittlerweile. Das ist insane.
What? They're going to invest the overclock too? No way.
Die wollen das?
Alpha, you look at the punish with that Death Blossom.
Hydron muss hier sterben. Jesus.
Still have a little bit of time to find these picks. They're playing safe here. Someone may be able to build up this Primal Rage, but there's a Reaper in your face.
Oh.
Ooh, there's a Reaper in your face, and the Reaper is going to win out that duel. Florida
Die Shotguns vor der Win.
kind of played a little risky there. Was that a hero play from Hydron?
Bit of a hero play, but I think the entire team, they understood that we have Hydron coming back with the Overclock, recognizing how good Sojourn is and can turn these fights around, right? So I wouldn't call that a mistake at all. I think it was very calculated from Florida Mayhem, giving themselves an opportunity to full hold on point A. It didn't work out that time, but it's a nice calculated risk from the Mayhem. You're still good here. 2 minutes 30 for Hangzhou Spark to cap out point B, and this is historically a really difficult point for the attacking teams.
Prinzipiell, wie man es hier halten will, fängst hier oben an dem Window an, als DPS, und paukscht. Kein Tank wird hier runterspringen. Das wäre dumm. Außer mit dem Comp-Pick. Auf Attacker-Seite versuchst du hier in den Highground zu kommen. Für dann den eigentlichen Choke zu spielen. Ich lasse das halt besser. Jesus. Und zwar hier die Kurve. Was gut ist, als Defender hast du hier den Highground komplett. Hier hinten dran den. Und kannst da runterbroken.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, you kind of got through the first hurdle, which was unlocking the payload, and now you have to escort it through the
Das ist risky.
space of Paraíso, where all of these buildings make it really difficult to figure out where you want to attack from. So as Gushui starts to play in between these buildings, he's going to get caught out by checkmate going on at this.
Das Problem ist, wenn du hier dazwischen spielst, du bist immer out of sight für deine Supports. Immer.
And this is where the Sojourn really starts to be questionable when it comes to its effectiveness. Of course, Sojourn's always going to be good. It's a crazy hero.
Deswegen mache ich das nicht gern. Weil deswegen sollte man das nicht machen, besser gesagt. Kannst du es hier nur über 3 Wege angreifen. Da sieht man es perfekt. Entweder, wie gesagt, der Main Path über den Highcourt, die Payload. Ein bisschen sneaky, das wäre eher so ein Reaper-Ding. Hier unten. Oder mit der Sojourn ein bisschen Poke hier durch. Wobei du da eigentlich besser hier oben wärst mit der Sojourn. Macht eigentlich keinen Sinn, hier unten zu stehen. Oder du machst hier, wie Schau und Spirit, machst eine kleine Flank hier oben drüber. Weil wir erinnern uns, hier ist die Tür ungefähr. Tür auf den Choke wieder. Ja. Sieht man's hier? Das ist so ein starker Highground. Big. Oh, die Staggers.
back with a lot more, of course, using that Kitsune rush. But they have the sound barrier up still. Florida Mayhem, they're sitting at 4 ultimates right now. If I'm the Hangzhou Spark, I want to take 2 fights here, if possible, and try to get out as many ultimates as possible. Put pressure on the Florida.
Die Frage ist ja, warten die alle 4? Wahrscheinlich. Ich gehe davon aus. Die wissen, dass nur Kitsune benutzt wurde. Die erwarten jede Ult. Sollten, zumindest. Das bedeutet, die müssen jetzt irgendwie die Ults hier forcen. Und das ist ziemlich hart.
Well, these fights are going to have to be really fast because Hangzhou Spark have 50 seconds remaining to make the most of this attack push and hopefully secure that second objective. Schau, trying to find an opening.
Das, was ich eben gesagt habe. Leichter Poke von
They
unten.
do, especially when it's coming down to the wire now. 35 seconds left and
Einfach cool.
as the overclock is now active for Hydron. He powers
Ja, das sagt jetzt hier Ults bis Overtime. Big one. Unlucky. Spark hat immer noch Overclock. Aber don't need it.
So let's see if Florida Mayhem do something similar they did to point A. They do have the Death Blossom at their disposal, and they should have enough time to respawn and get back into this fight. Anemone, the Lucio is going to escort Sermajet back here. And if you can
Oh, Florida will das hier contesten, actually. Sie haben Death Blossom und im längeren Fight noch Kitsune Rush. Frage ist, wird das ein längerer Fight? Schau, hat die Overclock. Yep, that's it. Big. Big one.
They're really good in overtime, as we already identified, of course, on point A and now on point B as well. They're really efficient when it comes down to the wire. I really appreciate how they pulled back there to force Florida Mayhem in. This is something the Spark are really good at when it comes to turning these fights around. Florida Mayhem, though, 1 minute remaining here, and they already have the Death Blossom and the Kitsune Rush, perhaps going a bit aggro right here.
Looks like the Econ is going to be in Florida Mayhem's favor, as they just want to try.
Mayhem muss eigentlich ein Teamfight gewinnen.
But Teru is looking for an opening to use this Kitsune Rush. Teleports backwards to be able to help the team. Suzu onto Alfie.
Oh, er will Q drücken. Oder? Ich hätte hier Q gedrückt. Nice Call ist auch nicht zu machen. Ich hätte nicht für geblamed. Oh. Das ist big. Der Winston ist dead. Das ist dein Go. Das ist ein Cleanup.
So it's all about regrouping here for the Florida Mayhem. That push failed right there onto the spawn, and the Hangzhou Spark.
Ich sehe den Zinnan irgendwie coming.
An amazing ultimate. Let's see if Spark can make it work here in overtime.
Right, they're gonna have to, but Checkmate still has yet to do the death block. He's lagging to the back line. He's gonna drop down.
What are you? Checkmate.
And Teru taking him out. This is a big push here for Hangzhou Spark in overtime. The overtime champions. Securing point A, securing point B, and maybe even point C as we keep the cart rolling. Alpha Yi, Kushui, super rich.
Wir müssen langsam zum Cut backuppen. Können einfach dann nicht allein lassen. No way. Einfach zieht ihr Q. Auf den Card, komm.
Okay, Anemo sound barrier is good. It is able to get the overhealth onto 3 members, but with the Death Blossom, Alpha Yi is going to secure that third objective for Hangzhou.
Huge one.
Yeah, what an impressive push there by the Hangzhou Spark. You didn't really feel like they made a ton of progress here on Esperanza, but instead, in overtime on point B and then overtime point C, they make it happen. Florida Mayhem there, both on point B and on point C. We saw them go aggressive. They wanted to take the fight to the Hangzhou Spark, but Hangzhou Spark, they're pulling back. They found that pick onto someone on that Winston that really opened up point C here. So that is something to pay attention to. Florida Mayhem with a bit of an aggressive tendency so far this match, and Hangzhou Spark feeling pretty comfortable pulling back and opening up the fight for Schau to return those frags.
Yeah, I love that because we see teams oftentimes just kind of respond to the aggression with aggression of their own instead of saying, oh, you want to use cooldowns to try to get towards us? Go ahead. We're just going to use our Lucio to back up. I love that you brought that up because I do think that that's a very interesting mechanic coming into play here for these teams.
Absolutely. The Hangzhou Spark, they struggled here on offense. They couldn't really take this bridge because of their aggressive Kiriko play. Let's see if Florida Mayhem can replicate that. I do want to spotlight Lucio here on this very specific point because we are playing on a bridge here to kick things off on Esperanza, and that's where Lucio with that wall ride mechanic, he can really come in handy and get those boops off to make sure that you can find an opening. If you boop up the Reaper, for example, they're going to have to wait for him out, and that's when you can find a pick onto them. So let's see if Anamo can do something here for the Florida Mayhem rolling out.
Oh, there is...
Except to try to get up and close to those spawn doors of the Florida Mayhem to get a little bit of poke damage out as those doors.
Ich finde das sehr interessant, was der Room macht.
Pretty vulnerable. You know, you use the switch step to be able to get back to your team, but now you're not able to get out of the way as Florida Mayhem start to gun you down. Already, we're gonna see Glushway get sent back to spawn as Checkmate's gonna take this opportunity with no Winston bubbles.
Wenn Spark das Backup, können sie das contesten. Warum Lucio? Wird schwierig.
I mean, they have the territorial control here too. Despite the fact that Glushway is able to come back here with the bubble. Wait,
Big.
maybe that's good enough. Schau is absolutely
Aber
just
Schau ist dead.
off that it takes Checkmate to invest those mobility cooldowns to get in his face and remove him. But
Huge.
all the while, Hangzhou Spark is able to make a triumphant return.
Yeah, Hangzhou Spark here. Really lucky they have Schau on their team right there to sort of secure those two.
Notice? Nicht ein Tick. Das sind 10.
Frags, the Florida Mayhem. I mean, you can't really anticipate all that damage coming out, right? Schau finds that opening pick onto someone, and now Florida Mayhem, they find themselves back here with no real space. Let's see how they control it.
Well, someone is gonna go ahead and try.
Terror spielt jetzt ziemlich weit weg. Die Trade halt von deinen Papers und deinen Pokémon Cards. Wie ich es ab sofort nennen. Dauert ziemlich lang, bis hier oben bei Schau ist. Kannst dir noch nicht helfen, wenn er jetzt gedived wird. Mit deinem Dingens. Mit deinem Glänz. Okay, Eco. Der einzige Weg, wie Terror Schau mit dem Glänz helfen könnte, wäre, indem er sich hintipiert und instant glänzen tut. Das Problem ist, er burnt dabei beide Cooldowns. Und er ist in der Zone drin. In der Death Zone. Terror wird am besten hier hinten den Highground spielen. An der Tür. Das eskaliert. Ja. Das war der Kitsune Rush und Go. Das ist unlucky. Kann man nicht viel gegen machen.
So if you're lucky here, Florida Mayhem can catch Hangzhou Spark before they're able to build this sound barrier themselves, for example.
Yeah, I mean, so much crowd control available with the Primal Rage, the Lucio boop. Florida Mayhem really want to try to get into maybe a high ground position.
Okay, bevor das da weitergeht, habe ich noch gar nicht viel drüber geredet. Aber dafür muss ich zeichnen. Und zwar das Game Pace. Das Game Pace. Angenommen, haben eine Skala von 1 bis 10. Ja. 6. Sagen wir jetzt 1. Machen wir anders. Kein Bock da die ganze Zeit. Nehmen wir Grau für Spark. Sag mal Dein Game Pace für Spark ist hier. Einfach mal dargestellt. Oder allgemein. Dein Team Game Pace ist hier. Okay. Und sagen wir, das Gegnerteam hat diesen Game Pace. Consistent. Das ist einfach mal die Baseline. Das bedeutet, dass, nehmen wir das jetzt einfach mal Team 1 und Team 2. Eins. Das ist Team 2. Wieso? Wenn wir Escape drücken. Das bedeutet, Team 2 hat einen höheren Game Pace als Team 1. Relativ obvious, denke ich. So weit, so gut. Das Problem ist, für Team 1 hier, den Pace zu halten. Nehmen wir mal blau. Weil dein Teamfights gehen dann irgendwie so, immer so weiter. Nehmen wir hierfür mal gelb. Ungefähr so. Es zieht sich periodisch hier so weiter, aber ich habe keinen Bock, das lang zu zeichnen. Und irgendwo hier kommt es zu einem Teamfight. Sagen wir einfach mal, wir haben hier einen Teamfight. Und wir haben hier einen hohen Game Pace von Team 1. Weil die gerade, keine Ahnung, Kitsune Watch benutzen. Das bedeutet, der Game Pace von Team 2 muss mindestens auf der normalen Ebene sein. Das heißt, wenn die so sind und schneller reagieren auf den Kitsune Watch, zum Beispiel mit einer Amp von Lucy. Lucy zieht Amp, die Kitsune Ult läuft aus und dann sind wir wieder hier auf dem Normalzustand. Jetzt pusht Team 2 mit einem already höheren Game Pace. Damit Team 1 das outperformen kann, müssen sie hier drüber. Sie brauchen einen höheren Game Pace. Das ist viel schwerer, weil du es nicht gewohnt bist. Deswegen sagt man, Teams setzen sich gegeneinander in Game Pace. Kann man aber auch anders da darstellen. Angenommen, wir haben hier unser Team 1. Und hier unser Team 2. Jetzt können wir es nicht darstellen. Ja, so. Vergiss es. Meine erste Variante nehme ich. Auf jeden Fall, Game Pace diktiert die Fights. Das ist ein bisschen komisch erklärt. Like that. Muss ich mir mal was überlegen für die nächste Runde. Vielleicht gibt's ja auch was online.
Tries to jump back to save him. All the while, Gushue into the front line with the Primal Rage. Just gonna boop everybody off the map. Oh no, checkmate. No, checkmate's coming back for more.
We love the boop kills. There they go. I mean, Gushue, we gotta talk about this guy. He's had a standout performance so far. And if you take a look at the replay from Gushue with this Primal Rage, he's going to secure the frag here onto Animo. And then he just swipes Thermodad away.
He
Gushue,
actually just threw hands.
He's throwing hands.
Every hand throw was a kill. But now it's time for the overclocks. Hydron and Shy dueling it out, looking for those opening picks, forcing out the sound barriers on both teams. But as that hope starts to expire, someone using the Primal Rage not only to keep himself alive, but also checkmate. Right after that sound barrier over health was gone, went in at the perfect moment.
It's a perfect moment right there, and both teams committing a lot of ultimates there. So Florida Mayhem, they're going to have control here, and they're going to just keep pushing aggressive. This is their hallmark.
Ich überlege mir mal was.
Holding these corridors.
Muss ich anders da erklären.
And the Florida Mayhem will secure point B here. They're looking to rely on someone in checkmate in the front line.
I mean, that last fight was so expensive. Yeah, absolutely. And when you have the Kitsune rushes available for both teams.
Warte, hier für Sparks, sie hat einen High Ground.
Kind of looking at that, maybe to be the difference maker, but when Hydron is in spawn in Florida, when they do have 2.5 minutes, just want to take a reset here and come back.
Yeah, I mean, Schau has 15 final blows so far this match compared to Hydron's 6 final blows. So a bit of a Sojourn diff so far on this map. You can definitely tell that Schau is one of the best Sojourns in the world. And Hydron so far, 6 final blows, 12 deaths, sort of crumbling a little bit here for the Florida Mayhem. You need to rely on him to find these opening picks.
Scary.
Rushes here, and Florida Mayhem, they waste no time.
Okay.
Gonna pop Shy. Maybe look for another pick as someone just continues to control the DPS of Hangzhou Spark. Hydron finding himself in a little bit of a rough spot here as Gushue feels forced to use
the Prime of Animo.
It pays off this big dividend. Animo now also being sent back to spawn, and that progress onto the sound barrier ulted. This has just been trades back and forth, but still Hangzhou Spark holding out strong. Yeah, 1 minute 30 about now, and Shy continuing to just rail the Florida Mayhem down here. Getting close to an overclock as well, but Hydron has his. Let's see, Hydron utilizes his. Okay, well, a lot of focus fire being put onto Gushue.
Huge pick.
Quick snipe onto Superrich as he pops his head
Und das ist der Punkt.
Enough of a finishing blow to the Hangzhou Sparks point B defense. This is the Hydron we wanted to see. Comes in with the overclock and finds 2 opening frags.
Oh, wenn er hier Superrich bekommt. Oh, das ist nice, Digga.
2 minutes 30 here, so they have a decent amount of time to finish off this point right here. Got a sound barrier.
Ich gehe davon aus, sie versuchen hier den Schock zu fighten. Hier vorne die erste Kurve. Das ist ein Choke.
Checkmate. Wait, where's he going? Okay, he's teleporting up behind Hangzhou.
Oh, okay.
He does get spotted out though, so a media focus gets turned towards him, but Hydron in the chaos is able to snipe out Alpha Yi. So with that player advantage, Florida Mayhem is going to continue to push this card forward as Checkmate, putting on the pressure, wants to use the Death Blossom.
Oh mein Gott. Oh, ein bisschen Spawners, das ist...
They have to use it because otherwise Florida Mayhem's going to kill them while they're sitting in spawn.
I mean, Checkmate, he just wants to go again. He wants to push in with this Blossom.
I mean,
Checkmate?
Yeah, I mean, Gushue's playing a little bit scared. Okay, nice rotation here from Hangzhou to be able to get out of spawn and a great sound barrier from Super H, but it is not in time to be able to save Shy. Then Teru gonna have to use the Kitsune rush here to give Hangzhou Spark a fighting chance as he is able to take out Checkmate in that Death Blossom, but Florida Mayhem with those support.
Gushue hat Primer.
No more sound barrier, no more Kitsune rush. Gushue now gonna be sending Animo back. That is going to be a pretty big fight win.
Das ist huge.
That's a massive fight win there for the Hangzhou Spark, because not only do you prevent the Florida Mayhem from capping, if Florida Mayhem had capped there with over a minute, of course that's only Florida Mayhem with their only attack left, but instead it's going to boil down to the final fight here for the Florida Mayhem to try to win this point C over. Hydron, he is
Schei muss ja so schnell wie möglich den Overclock bekommen. Das ist das Einzige, was wir haben. Oh, scary. Oh! Bitte haben wir da vom Replay. Huge. Huge. Big one. Bitte haben wir davon Game. Game Replay.
22 final blows for Schau on that Sojourn, carrying Spark across the finish line.
22. Jesus.
What an amazing standalone performance by Schau right there. Gushu as well on that Winston, helping the Spark to finish off this map. Wow, we got a nail biter on.
Ich warte auf dem Replay. Ich will das sehen von Schau. Das ist... Oh, Hydron hat den Punkt hier gerade gesaved. Mit der Overclock.
Wow. I can't wait to dive into map 3. Can we just start the next map right now? I'm ready to go. Boot it up. Boot it up.
Just let's start.
I'm ready to go.
No, they definitely
Loved it.
need the time, I think, to recuperate, because that was a super close map on Paraiso.
That was a super close map, but if you're the Florida Mayhem right here, you know, I wouldn't be too upset with this loss. Now you have two prime opportunities here on Escort and Push coming up for your team to really finish this series out here. There were still some good things for that map though. For example, I think that Checkmate really came alive as well. Someone's continuing to be aggressive. He's not falling back. He's not stepping down here for the Florida Mayhem. And if you are the Mayhem, you know that aggression is going to be your path to victory. So I want to see them hold their heads high and keep being aggressive.
Kriegen wir hier ein Replay? Ja, ist das von Schau? Das ist die Overclock, aber... Ich will gerne den Slide sehen. Ah, okay. Unlucky. Sad, ich hätte gern den Slide gesehen. Von Schau's POV.
Final blows, right? And Schau of the Hangzhou Spark in the mid-season madness against the Philadelphia Fusion, one of the global tournaments we had earlier this year. Schau, he committed 65% of the team's final blows against the Fusion.
Und dann mit dem Hintergrund, not many Sojourn players would go for that play.
And that was on Sojourn. That was on Sojourn. So, of course, Dorado, I feel like it's a bit synonymous now with Schau having that amazing performance on Sojourn in the mid-season madness. The Florida Mayhem, this is their map pick though. So they are feeling like they have something in store for us.
Die Diva könnte sogar legit sein.
Dorado is like the opposite of Esperanza. We're going from very
Pharaoh erwarte ich ja nicht. Ich mag den Echo-Pick hier. Statt den Reaper.
We've actually seen some Tracer play. We've seen some Echo play because this map is really opened up. So it allows for those flanks and those high skyboxes, the teams to utilize a wide range of heroes. So we can see Checkmate already on the spawn of Tracer. This might be a hero that he sticks on, shying away from that Reaper.
Yeah,
no
well,
pun intended.
Ich würde behaupten, Flauda hat hier Spark geguckt. Ein bisschen analysiert. Und sehr wahrscheinlich wissen die, dass die auf Dorado kein Reaper laufen. Sondern die Echo. Deswegen ist Checkmate hier Tracer. Vor allem als Tracer hast du auch viel mehr Möglichkeiten, sag ich jetzt mal, irgendwo rumzusliden, als jetzt Reaper. Man geht ja nicht wirklich Junk. Okay. Scary.
Hangzhou Spark getting set up on the defense here doesn't have a Reaper either. It's going to be Alpha Yi playing the Echo. So an aerial unit here for Hangzhou Spark as Florida Mayhem. They tried something a little cheeky. Hydron, they're going to go back over to the
Okay.
Sojourn.
Hier, viele Teams machen es auch falsch. Die sitzen hier vorne als Tank. Die gehen dann erstmal auf Dorado Hand. Das ist ziemlich dumm. Zumindest mal für den ersten Punkt. Dorado geht bei Winston, Ball oder Diva. Oder maybe Reason, je nach Comp. Ja, du willst den Highground halten. Als Reinhard kannst du keinen Highground halten. Maybe Zarya würde ich auch noch akzeptieren. Ja, du kannst hier den Choke runterpoken. Da musst du aber so viel Payload Space hier abgeben, dass du hier den Choke fighten tust. Für mit Zarya irgendwas zu machen. Deswegen gehe ich auf Dorado auch gerne Winston. Weil du halt genau auf diesem Dach sitzen kannst. In Defense. Und dann, ja. Einfach hier runterpoken kannst. Könnte auch deiner Sojourn helfen, wenn die gedived wird. Oder allgemein deinem Team. That's it. Ja. Jetzt haben wir uns going deep. Oh, unlucky.
To finish off these kills very quickly, but Echo can be caught off guard when it comes to the tempo. Tracer, a very fast hero, that might have Hangzhou Spark on their back foot.
I mean, Alpha, you saw that when he floated down, didn't have the ability to fly back up into the skybox. Actually needed the assistance of Teru with the Suzu to get out without being taken out by the Florida Mayhem. But they're starting to make their aggressive push forward as Florida inches that cart. Destination, but yeah, that's a big focus scheme from Alpha Yi to beam down someone, and Florida Mayhem just gonna respond to that by backing off.
Yeah, so if you only seen Reaper come so far, I don't blame you because there's been a lot of Reapers so far. But this Echo
Ich mag das hier nicht, dass du da die Logos reinballern.
is going to be very effective at breaking down someone's barrier and also taking down the tank of the Florida Mayhem. On the opposite side, though, as I said, it's a bit of a slower hero. So Checkmate, I think we should really hone in on Checkmate here, the Tracer player. He will be able to contest this backline of the Hangzhou Spark and dive quickly before Echo finds any effectiveness.
What I think is really cool about the Tracer and
huge pick.
wait to see that as Bushui does eliminate Animo.
The Lucifer Mayhem is dead. This is scary.
For Florida. Okay, a pulse bomb getting thrown out here, but Terry was able to swift step away. Waiting for an opportunity to Kitsune Rush, but someone's able to gun him down.
Get deep.
Kitsune Rush, though, working out in spades here for Florida Mayhem as Hangzhou, they just have Bushui be able to stall out the point before Florida Mayhem get this first capture.
And it's an amazing dive coming out there from Checkmate. They force out the cooldowns of the Hangzhou Spark. They're going to secure point A here for their own team, and they're going to continue this momentum now. Someone is already on the high ground on point B, contesting the space of the Hangzhou Spark.
Beide Teams wollen diesen Highground. Dieser Highground gibt so viel Space. Deine Sojourn kann jetzt Defender hier runterpoken. Maybe sogar hier hinten. Hier links die Seite. Da, wo sie Bock hat. Selbe für Attacker. Die Sojourn kann hier runterpoken. Punkt. Hier durch die Windows. Hier die linke Seite. Maybe sogar droppen. Hat hier hinten das Mega. Dieser Highground ist so fucking strong. Das ist insane.
Meanwhile, Checkmate on that Tracer. He's going to go for a bit of a wide angle here, trying to contest the Hangzhou Spark and maybe pick off Schau before he can activate that.
Es ist auch ziemlich schwer für Florida hier den Highground zu contesten. Weil sie müssen Cooldowns investieren, um diesen Highground zu contesten.
Their Tracer does require a little bit of that setup, but once Florida Mayhem's able to get a bit more aggressive, yes, someone is going to
Heroes on the back.
Oh.
I mean, okay, we kind of expect that at this point, but it's really Checkmate now. It's going to force LB to drop down and go for the duplicate. Goes to the Winston, maybe getting that Primal Rage online, but finding a little bit of trouble, getting some damage down onto the Florida Mayhem as they rotate away from this duplicate. Suzu to be able to save Hydron as he moves back.
Huge.
But that was it. Duplicate here from Schau, able to deal with the defense so far. Now to Kitsune rush from Teru, it's going to be an all-out brawl as Gushue also starts to throw hands with the Primal Rage, and that's just to match someone. Checkmate throws out the Pulse Bomb, but it whiffs, and so expensive reinforced.
So expensive, and the Spark, they still haven't found any picks. The payload is still pushing, and the Spark, using 3 ultimates, still haven't found.
Schei wird die Overclock ziehen.
About the tempo, the mayhem, they're happy staying alive, contesting the Spark, and now we see the overclock coming out from Schei. They have to find value here.
Okay, well, that's going to be some value.
That's the value.
Goomba stops Hydron. Surmajet is able to get an elimination.
Das ist so viel Damage.
Odds are still not evened out. As Hongshou Spark
Ja, kann ich drauf ein, was ich meine. Ich weiß nicht, ob es jeder gesehen hat. Und zwar... Hier. Er trifft die Overclock. Ah, hier was nicht. Hier. Someone ist low. Einfach mit dem Beam. Und jeder ist auf Someone. Jeder. Das ist insane. Someone schmilzt hier einfach. Hier. Someone ist low. Der Echo Beam. Und das ganze Team. Jesus. That's a lot of fucking damage.
Yeah, so let's think big picture here, right? The Hangzhou Spark, they committed 4 ultimates already, and they really only won 1 fight here. Whereas the Florida Mayhem, they're happy utilizing this Kitsune rush themselves. This might secure point B right here.
Very well could. I mean, the movement speed is going to allow someone to just speed forward. Teru in the backline once again trying to take the flank, but to no avail. And all the while, Florida Mayhem, they're splitting up their focus to be able to scare Hangzhou away from this defense. And so point B should be captured here, but look at this. Hangzhou Spark might be able to come back in for a recontest.
Protesten das.
From the Hangzhou Spark, they have to win this fight to hold strong here on point B. Gushue is going to take some space, but they're really looking to build this Kitsune rush on Teru. Florida Mayhem trying to capitalize before Spark can build those ultimates.
Okay, now that Suzu has been
Der Kitsune wird auf Cooldown kommen. Never mind, der Fight ist done.
Checkmate does have a pulse bomb, but as someone is eliminated, now it's less than 2 minutes that Florida Mayhem have to assail this second objective.
Gushue bekommt hier Primal.
Yeah, 1 minute 30 remaining here,
Und wird dann Hydro Primal.
For the checkmate on that tracer, so we're just going to see him forward with Reaper. This is the sensible choice here, because you can't afford to take time taking these big flanks up on the high ground. Now instead you're looking to play with your tank and teleport up on that ledge.
Well, especially when Alpha you switch
over
to
Reaper
as well. Checkmate's gonna have to give up that
nice call.
Charge, but with that passive does retain 30%, so he's not so far behind. But Hydron still has that overclock available, is going to use it, but in response, Gushue will go for the Primal Rage to remove Florida Mayhem from this high ground. Leaping from roof to roof, Kitsune Rush to follow up Gushue's Primal Rage, as it's just going to be a
Das ist so scary für Gushue.
as Hydron also gets taken out here too. What a great defense here from Spark.
They're very happy just rotating around here, and they're giving time here for Schei to find these opening picks. So far, not a ton of final blows, of course, but Schei already at 4.
Das war ein nice Primal.
On this hero. Florida Mayhem though, 30 seconds to go on this offense. I don't think they're too unhappy.
Und das ist der Grund, warum Winston so strong ist. Im Moment.
Maybe they can make some magic work with these 3 ultimates here when they flank around.
Okay, well, they can't layer both of these ultimates.
You gotta contest Schei here.
But
you have no
have to. So that's going to be someone's job. Someone jumping up to the high ground to try to force Schei away. The Primal Rage is happening in the back line.
Also Kitsune.
Gets laid down for Florida Mayhem across the cart. Someone with a fast rotate to be able to get healed back up. But a huge bubble, maybe a great save.
Oh!
Florida Mayhem, checkmate, able to secure that second.
That's a big one.
Death Blossom there by checkmate as well. And they
How did he
contested
do
Schei
that?
appropriately right there as well. Someone with that Primal Rage, he forces Schei back, and that gives space to the Florida Mayhem to sit on the payload, and it pays off with checkmate with the Death
Jeez.
Blossom, forcing the position of Spark and getting insane value with that Death Blossom.
That's what we expect, though. I mean, look, remember the stats card that we were able to show after our very first map of the series? Checkmate stats were just off the charts. So we'll see him continue to play around with someone's Winston as they hold that front line. Hydron, though, gonna use some mobility to be able to maybe play a little bit of misdirection here with the Spark.
Yeah, I mean, this is the only ultimate that Florida Mayhem has available, right? So with this overclock, Florida Mayhem, they have to win about 2 fights now. And he's looking to find these snipes.
Hydron?
Yeah.
We absolutely have to
Jesus.
every time that Hydron has been trying to peek his head over the side to get behind Schau. Gushue has always been there to answer. He's using the primal reach now. As that expires, he will find
Nice
his way
pick.
back up to the high ground, but it's coming down to the wire here. 20 seconds remain. Teru pops the Kitsune rush, and it sends Florida Mayhem packing, as they can't afford to take any more losses here.
10 seconds remaining. The Florida Mayhem push back into their spawn, and Animal goes down as well. That's going to be the speed boost missing. You see Checkmate swapping over to the Sombra to try to get this touch.
Animal's
I
dead.
don't think they can get there.
I don't think they can get there either.
Kann das nicht contesten.
It is completely left alone. And
Oh
the
no.
aggression from Spark is able to shut down the push of Florida Mayhem.
Yeah, still a decent push though.
Es
Point
ist-
B, you give yourself time to hold on
Ja.
point A or point B if you're the
Es ist zwar nicht
Florida Mayhem.
durchgeschoben,
It's their
aber
map choice of
immer noch
course. So,
winnable.
yeah, I think they're feeling quite comfortable on this map. Wouldn't be too upset with that offense right there. Hangzhou Spark though, I mean, Schau has been a problem so far. He's 8-2 so far. Deadlifting for his Hangzhou Spark team. 8 out of 15 final blows. You know he's going to pop off, right? So Florida Mayhem, I think that's someone, he showed some aggressiveness there on the Winston, recognizing that he needs to shut down Schau, but it's going to be even harder here on defense because Schau, he gets the opportunity to roam around and take the angles that he wants to take.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to how Hydron was getting completely checked by Gushue left and right, you do need to see the same type of response from someone. But I kind of feel like the play styles of each Kiriko are coming into the fray, where maybe Spark are just so used to Teru playing on their own, they don't necessarily know that he's going to be there to give that necessary backup. But when it comes to the Kitsune rushes, oh boy, do those enable shine.
Yeah, and it's looking good as
Ich
well.
find das
We
so
mentioned the
nasty.
Alchemy versus Pineapple substitution for the Hangzhou
Soldier
Spark. I
spielt
think
ist so
Alchemy has done a
nasty.
really good job with those Kitsune rushes and playing along
Genauso wie
with
Bro.
Gushue as well to open up the door for
Ist einfach
Hangzhou
so ein
Spark.
cooles
So,
Gefühl, wenn du
a bit
einen
of a struggle,
one-tappen
yes, they
kannst.
got the Toronto Defiant, but if Hangzhou Spark plays like this, they're going to be a beast for the Florida Mayhem the rest of the series.
Oh.
Show Spark to come up to the plate and
Let's
take
try
the
though.
push here on Dorado. Alpha Yi just went for something, you know, the traditional cheeky widow
A Reaper?
pick.
Keine Echo?
Didn't get anybody as Florida Mayhem start to control the territory on the high ground of these first few buildings. The payload starts around the corner, and that's going to be Gushue's signal to jump up and take the opposite high ground. Oh, but Shy. Big picks here coming out from Florida. I don't know, Gushue. I might not stay there if I were you.
He's just zapping away. He's got a new ability in Overwatch 2. He's just doing a little bit of zapping. Long distance.
Long distance zapping. Yeah, that's right. Wait, what would you call that now? Because we've got WinCon jump, WinCon zap.
Oh, I'm a Winston player. I just pretend that it's a railgun.
Oh.
I'm like with
I
that
love
thing.
that.
I'm just going ham, yeah. Interesting here, Florida Mayhem, they actually give up the ground. So we saw them for the first minute contesting this high ground space. Now instead though, they're looking to go aggressive with Hangzhou Spark already committing. But Schau finds an opening pick again. He's a madman.
Wow, I mean, that must have been some damage, and then the disruptor shot to slow Onimo down and then eventually take him out. But that's a huge opening here for Hangzhou Spark. Now there's no escape mechanism here for Florida, except for their own
You gotta contest.
cooldowns. And they might not even have time to come back in and contest. They've wrapped around the Hangzhou Spark. They've just swapped sides as someone is trying to keep Shy occupied, but the movement to power slide away.
Jesus, wie Schei das
Very
überlebt.
close save there as Florida Mayhem coming clutch and cut it a little close.
Yeah, they're
Scary.
a little bit anxious there. But I mean, the Florida Mayhem, I think they were purposely trying to take a slow fight.
Das war so
Gave
scary für
opportunity
Schei.
for Animo to get back after getting picked off. But also, you built up those ultimates before the Hangzhou Spark, of course, because you won that first 1 minute of the defense. Now you committed the Kitsune rush, though. You're looking for Hydron to find an opening pick with this overclock. But Schau has one as well. It's going to be a
Tisch
battle.
Instant Overclock? Was dann mit dem Beat von Super Witch.
See Hangzhou Spark start to approach from the left as Hydron is
That's the
getting
play.
to use that overclock. But who's gonna use it first? A little a bit of a tussle here as Hangzhou Spark try to figure out how they want to approach this objective. Overclock's getting used by Hydron.
Alle Beats draußen. Double supported für Spark sogar.
Gushue just guns down Hydron in the front line as well.
Schau is just better.
He's just finishing them off.
Schau is just better.
He's having a blast out there on this Sojourn pick. 11 and
To be fair, Spark hat ihr Double supported und Overclock.
They recognize, of course, that Sermajed, he has committed the Kitsune rush in the fight prior, so you want to take that fight quickly, right? Recognizing that you have more reload speed, of course, you have more attack speed in that ultimate.
Hier Spark nimmt direkt High Ground.
Now the Hangzhou Spark on point B, they're going to be the ones.
Muss aber droppen. Die haben keine Chance, hier zu fighten. Auf dem High Ground.
I love getting a chance to see the ledge use of the church, as you can see Gushue and Teru just taking a little bit of that sideline approach. Someone jumping onto the cart to stop its momentum. This pushes Gushue back a little bit as he just rotates around. Checkmate though going
Scary.
There's the Death Blossom, the Suzu on top to
Big
keep
one.
alive, and that allows him to have the sustain.
Actually big one.
Out Super Rich and finish the job here for Florida Mayhem's defense.
Yeah, a bit of a leftover ability from point A, of course. When Mayhem committed all those ultimates, you're able to utilize that Death Blossom in your advantage, and that's so good because that's going to buy you enough time for Sermajed to build up his own Kitsune Rush and someone to build up that Primal Rage. Hangzhou Spark now, they're on the offense. They have a Primal Rage of their own, but it's going to be a bit harder to find value with these ultimates, considering, as you can
Gushue müsste hier die Ult saven. Für Hydron. Es sei denn, er droppt verdammt low.
see, they don't have any high ground
Und
themselves.
pauset zum Surviven.
Yeah, I feel like Gushue might even just need to use the Primal Rage to juggle Florida Mayhem off the high ground and make them a bit more accessible to the rest of the Spark, but
Nicer jump though.
someone playing a little bit deep in the back line here of Hangzhou. Has the Primal Rage available as a get out of jail free card. And we'll use that already just to kind of hop back and forth between the buildings, the high ground, the back line, the cart.
Warum?
Okay, both teams have Kitsune Rush up now.
Yeah.
Jetzt haben beide Soldiers nur Free
Ult.
Ult.
Goes in, sound barrier on top, and this is a huge investment here for the Spark. They know that it's pretty do or die when it comes down to using these ults and getting this.
Spark hat schon wieder Double DP, Double Support Ult.
The Florida Mayhem are going to be cleared off of the point. This should be a point B capture here.
Someone's going for it, but it goes down.
Oh,
That
okay.
is crucial right there. Not only did the Spark get the point B capture, but they're going to
Da ist jemand dead.
up here. Remember, Florida Mayhem, they didn't have a great point C offense right here. So the Hangzhou Spark, they're looking to capitalize on this early pick, controlling the high ground, and now maybe utilizing Schau's overclock to finish off this map.
Well, Hangzhou Spark, as they enter into this third point of Dorado, have 3 minutes remaining. And Schau, okay, overclocks on both sides. Schau and Hydron battling it out to see who's going to get the first pick. As Schau's able to get down some pretty
he missed the jump.
misses the
Oh,
power
no.
side. That leaves him vulnerable to checkmate, vulnerable to someone. And Animo
Die
with
Wall.
the barrier just ensures that Florida Mayhem can push back the Spark and stop the momentum that they generated from capturing that second point.
Oh, die Wall.
Crucial mistake right there, and it's someone on the Winston applying pressure, forcing
Unfortunate.
that from Schau on that Sojourn. Florida Mayhem now, they have to hold this point for 2 minutes. They only have this Death Blossom available. Maybe they can buy enough time for
Es ist ein Teamfight, den die brauchen.
posing aggressively. They want to go in right here, right now, and win this fight.
Okay, well, they're going to have to force out some cooldowns first before checkmate is going to be able to weave in
Gushue.
that
Big.
Blossom. But Gushue goes ahead and sets the pace first. The Primal Rage takes out Animo. Checkmate.
Oh, wenn er jetzt noch hier Hydron findet.
Death Blossom,
That's
that
it.
leaves him vulnerable to Schau.
Hast du.
Him off with a charged up railgun shot. And win that team fight win.
Single-handed von Gushue.
Meters away from bringing themselves up in this
They might just
series.
push.
Einfach dir Blossom.
Someone needs to get back.
Can anybody get back to touch? Okay, a teleport here from checkmate. He does make it.
Itsuni?
Down to half health, but the Kitsune Rush layered over the cart here from both of the teams is going to
Not much done.
They have a fighting chance. Super Rich though with the sound barrier gets overhealth too.
Oh, es ist so scary für beide Teams.
Taking out someone.
Hydron hat hier fast overclockt. Hydron ist dead.
Hangzhou Spark's favor. Members of
This is
Florida
it.
Mayhem are falling. They are off the point. And Hangzhou Spark, despite
No, wieso sag ich das?
not being one of their best play modes, do take
Caster
the win.
Curse.
That is a huge win for the Hangzhou Spark right there. They had to
Ah, das war so scary für Mayhem.
chance in this series. This is a massive map win.
Wir hätten das noch gewinnen können. Hätte Hydron hier die Overclock rausbekommen. Er stirbt mit 90%. Ah, that's unfortunate. Ah, Gushi hat das hart geklatscht. Hier im ersten Teamfight. Also am vorherigen. Oh mein Gott.
Well, Florida Mayhem were able to make that work on the Busan choice when they picked that one strategically, despite the fact that Florida Mayhem don't have a great success rate on control. They were still able to pick Busan as one that Hangzhou Spark didn't have very much experience with, and not a great win rate on either, and that worked out in Florida Mayhem's favor. But the gates are unlocked now, and we're going back to the basics of this playoffs meta, which have been centralized around the Kiriko, the Winston, and that Reaper. It's gonna be a tussle around this clock tower, though.
Okay, ich rede hier auch einmal drüber, weil es eine Push-Map ist. Push-Maps sind so designt, dass du eigentlich so ziemlich überall einen Fight leben kannst. Zumindest mal hier die. Von daher ist das ziemlich okay, würde ich behaupten. Das Schraube ist hier beide Highgrounds. Und die Tore sind quasi ein Chokepoint. Spark versucht hier defensiv zu halten, keine. Wie das aussieht. Ich würde behaupten, dass Schau hier gleich rotieren wird in den Highground. Und der Reaper und Winston werden es gerade contesten. Oder den Robot. Sobald er aktiviert ist. Engel? Oh, alle sind so low. Lucky. Hydron. Oh. Scheiße.
Doesn't need fists too.
Yeah, I mean, especially punching the opposing Sojourn player, that is a bit unfair. Take a look at the replay here. Shy dealing out the damage, and you can already see Hydron Spark recognizing they want to utilize this.
Hydron ist in ihn reingesprungen.
So important. I cannot stress this enough. The high ground is so important to gain an advantage going into these team fights. Florida Mayhem looking to get 2 fights here though before Hangzhou Spark get to the first capture point.
I mean, what's crazy as well was that Hangzhou Spark.
Das Gute ist, beiden Seiten sind diese Windows. Ich will den Bot hier zu recontesten. Das bedeutet, wenn man genauso wie hier direkt ein Teamfight verliert, der Bot bewegt sich dann hier hin, diese Richtung erst. Spark kann das hier perfekt contesten. Mayhem.
Just be enough momentum for Hangzhou Spark to be able to get this first checkpoint unlocked and get those forward spawns unlocked for themselves as well. Tiru was looking for this opening here with the Kitsune rushes. Florida just postured for position, but that was enough time for Sir Majed to get a Kitsune rush of his own online for Florida Mayhem to make use of. Everybody on Florida is getting a little low though, but Animo is waiting for the perfect moment to put pressure on with that sound barrier. And so now both
oh, der Cleanse hat gerade so gemisst. Oh, sad.
That is an amazing primal rage by someone. Finding 2 picks there for the Florida Mayhem to open this up. You do not want to fall behind on this map early. Instead, now it's going to put the Florida Mayhem.
Scheiße, hier ist Main Target. Gerade auf der Map.
They have the overclock. Hydron has it ready to go and checkmate as well with the Death Blossom. I suspect we're going to see a fast push.
Oh!
Right here.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, Teru just gets stuck between a rock and a hard place there. As now Swift Step will be able to save.
That's big damn.
Winston bubble though from Gushue was really nice to at least stop up a lot more of that Death Blossom damage.
Yeah, but you got those 2 picks right there. And now it's on Hydron from the Florida Mayhem. He has this overclock, and he's going to have the offensive positioning. Spark looking for a bit of a flank here. They want to utilize this Death Blossom on the high ground, but Hydron needs to find these picks.
Okay, well, Alfie's time to shine as he's looking for a Death Blossom, but Onimo takes him out before he's able to use it. Hydron with the overclock as well is just putting so much pressure onto the Hangzhou Spark that despite not getting any picks with it, he's able to push the Spark back. That's going to secure this first checkpoint here for Florida and those forward spawns.
Yeah, and the Hangzhou Spark, you can see the troops are coming back now, so they're looking to engage with this Death Blossom. Florida Mayhem with no ultimates online. Can they find a pick to perhaps even up the fight a bit?
They're gonna have to, because you don't want Florida Mayhem to start running away with things here. As Hangzhou Spark, they want to shut things down now. Kitsune Rush here for Sir Majed is plenty to be able to push that pressure and try to push the limits of what Florida Mayhem
Schon so oft drüber geredet.
That push bot is gonna go far.
Ja.
Push bot is gonna keep going. And this is so good for the Florida Mayhem right there. They're going to get to maybe like 80
Advantage,
right
ganz
there.
einfach.
Animo's going to have the sound barrier as well. If I'm the Florida Mayhem, I'm looking to push aggressive with this Primal Rage and this sound barrier as well. Schau is going to get the overclock and the Kitsune Rush. So what if you could throw the Spark off guard right here?
Gonna have to do something to throw them off kilter, because Teru is ready to go with the Kitsune Rush. Florida Mayhem playing a little bit more back here, but Hydron is just trying to catch everybody off guard as, well,
Hydron hat ja dezent den Aufhänger.
was waiting. Trades back and forth though, as Schau and Hydron, both soldiers removed. Gushui, someone continuing to just get picks back and forth.
Nice.
But Hangzhou Spark have to back off. They do have the spawn advantage here, so someone will retreat as he doesn't have very much HP left.
Yeah, but that's 105 meters for the Florida Mayhem with 5 minutes to go.
Actually, someone ist ja nicht so mega gelaufen. Er lässt sich hier von der Keiko hochhalten.
Here on our push map. Hangzhou Spark, they have the ultimate.
Das bedeutet, Keiko hat fast wieder Kitsune Rush.
Yeah, the Florida Mayhem have territorial control right now.
Oh my god.
Has to get up to them with the primal
Hydron goes down without the beat.
Okay, well, the Onimo was gonna try to save him there, but Hydron just isn't able to get that overhealth in time to be saved from that railgun charge shot from Schau. And Schau, just with the overclock, taking out members left and right.
Die Macht der Overclock.
But you committed that overclock and you don't have a Kitsune Rush available. So if you're on the Florida Mayhem here, you're playing defensive. You are recognizing that you have 105 meters to your scoreboard already.
Die Frage ist, Mayhem könnte das versuchen hier zu recontesten durch die Fenster oder es hier in der Ecke halten. Eins von beiden. Das Positive, wenn man hier in der Ecke hält, du hast immer die Möglichkeit, hier ein Off-Angle zu holen. Aber leider für beide Teams. Von daher ein bisschen risky. Ich würde die Ecke halten. Persönlich. Aber es ist ein Recontest.
Yeah, Florida Mayhem trying to keep that lead with Hydron's overclock. Don't necessarily need to get any picks here, you just need to buy some time. 4 minutes remaining as Hydron's overclock fell a little bit flat there, but did buy time for Sir Majed to use his Kitsune Rush now. Forces out the sound barrier here from Super Rich to keep things competitive here for the Hangzhou Spark, but Hydron
Spark hat doch Blossom.
Kunai from Teru will be eliminated as Checkmate trying to even the odds.
Checkmate!
The Death Blossom! And that is going to be good enough here for Florida.
That's unfortunate.
And Checkmate has been such a standout player for the Florida Mayhem right here with that Death Blossom. They're going to secure that fight, and they're just going to move the bot further towards the Hangzhou Spark's base. Hangzhou Spark, if they win a fight here, they're not going to be able to push straight away. They have to move the bot all the way back to their barrier. So the Florida Mayhem here, they're in a prime position right now, and someone has the Primal Rage.
Die Frage ist, Private Play wäre tatsächlich, den Bot hier in der Ecke stehen zu lassen und einfach die 3 Minuten aufzuhalten. Für Mayhem. Aber ich denke, die. Ah, nevermind. Wird auch. Was ich damit sagen will. Ich muss meinen Satz beenden. Mein Punkt. Wenn der Bot, sagen wir mal, hier stehen bleibt, wo er jetzt steht. Du fightest einfach nur für den Bot. Nicht für den Punkt, nur für den Bot. Wenn Mayhem das jetzt verliert, sagen wir, die machen jetzt einen Call. Die investieren in diesen Fight keine Ults. Sie forsten damit 2 Ults von Sparks, sagen wir mal, Kitsune Rush. Und wenn sie Glück haben, sogar einen Reaper oder die Soldier. Einer von den 2 DPS-Ults. Mayhem saved auch seine Ults. Bekommt dafür im nächsten Fall, sagen wir mal, 4. Und der Bot muss bis zur Barrier laufen. In der Zeit, wo der Bot darüber läuft, bist du schon respawned und könntest das hier mit deinen Ults contesten und dasselbe Spiel nochmal machen. Ohne dass Spark Progress bekommt.
But that will force out the primal rage from someone. It also forces out the retreat. Hydron gets too low to be able to contest the cart, and everyone else on Florida Mayhem might be soon to follow as Hangzhou Spark play a little bit of tiny overwatch there. Florida Mayhem though do get a retreat.
A little bit of tiny overwatch.
You know, when we talk about the importance of
the real one knows.
Recognize that Kitsune Rush is one of the strongest abilities in the game. So the Florida Mayhem, they're willing to trade someone's primal rage for Tiru's Kitsune Rush. Now they're looking to force out more ultimate.
Das benutze ich auch ab sofort.
Overclock first. If Alpha he needs it, the Death Blossom could follow, but Schau
huge. Schau is crazy.
Looking for a third, but Gushue is gonna steal those away before the team kill comes through as Schau picks off Sermachet.
9 final blows for Schau so far, but they need more of that if they want to win this map. This might be potentially be enough for the Hangzhou Spark to secure that checkpoint. You can see Tiro pushing this.
Will das hier contesten?
Someone is lurking, touching this barrier before the checkpoint, and that delay activation occurs.
Primal Rage is going to start juggling away Florida Mayhem from the point, but
Super Rage is dead. Keine sound barrier für Spark.
Before he can activate the sound barrier. So there's less sustainability on the board for the Spark, and they choose this moment to retreat before they lose anybody else.
And time is dwindling for the Hangzhou Spark. They need consecutive teamfight wins here, but despite investing these ultimates, they're not finding the value they need. Florida Mayhem here, building an overclock and a sound barrier to their advantage. If you're a Mayhem fan, you're really happy right now.
Yeah, I mean, smart backup here for the Hangzhou Spark to allow Super Rich to get
yes.
back, but Alpha Yi now trying to play hero as the sound barrier from Animo.
Okay.
Wow, just get deleted here by the Death.
In der Sekunde. Holy. A nicer pick for Schau.
There's a minute remaining for Spark to match and take over the lead that Florida Mayhem have.
We're gonna take a look at Schau right here, finding a couple of picks here for the Hangzhou Spark. And this is really what you were looking for if you're the Hangzhou Spark. Canceling that Death Blossom. They're going to try to secure the checkpoint right here with 1 minute to go. The
hat
coming in from Tiru.
Primal?
This will be the opportunity.
Gushue is going to go after the Lucio.
Holy.
Cleanup here. Spark know that the onus is on them to really start pushing the pressure.
And suddenly, this is looking really bad for the Florida Mayhem. Yes, they have the lead right now, but they've committed so many ultimates in these 2 last team fights that the Hangzhou Spark suddenly the ultimate
Spark hat hier eine ziemlich winnable Ult Condition.
Hydron's looking for a flank here, but Schau has the overclock for the Spark.
Schau's using the overclock here and with
muss das hier warten. No, why do you pick that?
This was their last chance, their last hope. They were down a map against the Spark, and with this team kill, Spark will continue to push this forward, but Florida Mayhem get one.
Das ist unfortunate.
This is the one chance to Florida Mayhem to really survive here in the 2022 playoffs, but they don't have any ultimates. Sermachet has to build his Kitsune Rush, but Gushue is going to go first with the Primal Rage. He's looking to end the series right here, right now.
Primal Rage, Suzu on top. Gushue looks unkillable at the
Gushue muss hier Hydron fallen. Oh, er juggelt ihn in Spark rein.
Hydron goes down. The DPS pressure. Florida Mayhem is starting to crumble. The Kitsune Rush from Sermachet is their last-ditch effort to get themselves back into this series and hope that their respawns will be enough.
Let's go.
So that reinforcements can come back.
Primal?
He gets the Death
Primal sag ich. Death Blossom.
This is it.
Oh, so sad. The Mayhem. Huge. Das nenne ich ein Comeback. Das nenne ich ein richtiges Comeback von Spark. Das war so ein Klatschplay von Schei mit der Overclock. Und dann von Alpha mit dem Death Blossom. Insane. Huge. Huge.
That was a hard-fought battle, too. I mean, Florida Mayhem coming into the playoffs. They had to fight tooth and nail through the play-ins. They dominated. This is their 4th match of the playoffs.
Haben wir hier ein paar Highlights?
在这整个季后赛期间，粉丝们很热衷于讨论谁是
That's
联盟
huge.
第一火箭队。
Kriegen wir davon Meme?
这个问题，然后我想问。
Once again, how did the Hangzhou Spark get it done?
I think what was really cool about this match was that there were a lot of strategical elements that could go into the matchup itself, coming in from map pick, whether or not.
Ich hoffe immer noch die Slow-Mo von Schei hier zu finden.
Game modes that they're not as good at. I mean, we've got historical data to back up that they're
Huge.
not so stellar on escort and push, but they were still able to get it done. And a lot of that was off of the hard
Unlucky.
work that was put in by Schei on Dorado, and just being able to use these Kitsune rushes coming in from.
It's like a little bit of village to start us off.
Okay. Dynasty vs. Dallas. Schwierig.
Today, what hopefully is a 5-map banger. Let's see what Dallas Fuel have got kind of prepared.
Dallas ist der Caster-Favorite, sag ich mal. Von den Power Rankings. Beides sehr gute Teams. Und ich hoffe, dass wir einen sehr hohen Gameplay sehen hier. Smurf, meiner Meinung nach, bester Winston in der League. Mit 4 das. Das ist ein Tank-Battle des Jahres.
Of course, we're probably not going to see too much change in the compositions. Of course, it's going to be Symmetra just for the TP out, but I can imagine it's going to be Reaper. Reaper's pretty decent on this map anyway. So many closed corridors and tight spaces you can hide the Reaper around, or just kind of WM1, El Clasico.
Sparkle has shown a little bit of Tracer so far in the playoffs. No, a very little amount, maybe on high grounds and stuff.
Ich erwarte hier die ganz normale Meta kommen.
But we're going to see them both coming out on that Reaper right now as they're meeting in the middle, and we're going to see Fitz go.
Die gehen instant für den Highground. Allison hat jetzt schon einen Pick-Off-Hits. Das ist unlucky. Ich lasse das hier einfach mal. Iris.
Having to back up though, they were already retreating as they knew Fitz died first. So Dallas Fuel end up taking the high ground pretty quickly.
Dallas Fuel müsst ihr den ersten Contest bekommen. Oder? Nee. Na, meint?
Sparkle's dropping down, trying to get some pressure on, force the Wraith out of profit early.
Perfect bubble though coming out from Smurf, blocking a lot of shots from Sparkle with Soul Dynasty, end up capping first. Dallas Fuel?
Actually, Dynasty capped us.
Scared there just for the brief intermission. Alright.
Technical cap.
Nice Suzu to save Smurf.
Oh.
Just cleaning up the rest of the Soul Dynasty.
Spark is so deep.
Quick fight there from the Fuel, almost like they baited Soul in.
Yeah, you can sort of see the look that Sparkle's going for already in this. Oh, that's just not even. Oh, that's just not even fair. Fitz just walked out that door, but you can see.
Alle Teams sind so aggressiv. I love that.
When he's trying to go aggressive, recognizing that if they can punish him early, that will give them a big lead in terms of damage later in the fight.
Ultimate Wunsch für Dallas. Mit Overclock und Kitsune. Vor allem mit Overclock.
Fielder's got the Kitsune rush. It was a little bit further away, about 20% or so. Soul Dynasty with the high ground is going to be an easy pick into Edison if any of Soul Dynasty want to try and challenge it. Smurf is making his way onto the point. There's the Kitsune rush. A lot of people actually trapped on the left-hand height here for the Soul Dynasty. Iris earning his Kitsune rush at the very end of this fight. Does it like
Dallas Fuel wanted to push up on him, maybe punish just a little bit. Smurf is pretty damn low. If he goes down here, a little bit of a sag.
Das ist huge. Ja, das hat das nur mit Kitsune gewonnen.
Just using that speed boost from Schau to speed all the way up.
Und keine Uhrzeiger.
Create a couple of additional seconds of free point time there.
Yeah, Fielder recognizing that he had the faster Kitsune rush, able to utilize that, but more importantly, walk all the way to their spawn. They're already at 60% to the point, right? If they extend this fight out, we might only have one fight, and they have 4 more ultimates to come online, while Seoul Dynasty are still waiting to get the rest online.
Dallas Fuel, 4 ultimates in the bank to deal with this Kitsune rush and beat from Seoul Dynasty. Prophet already going super low, have to use the Rave super quickly, and what a split there from the Dallas Fuel.
It's a stadio.
Not only that, they bubbled and used the beat to save Sparkle. Dallas Fuel still control, but Seoul Dynasty putting on a wave of pressure onto the point, actually find the flip. Smurf creating so much space with this Primal Rage, pushes the Dallas Fuel away, but now he is super low and has to escort himself away from the fight. They can juggle this Scott with a bubble. They might be able to get a free bit of percentage points. Fitz from spawn is trying to find some shots onto Fielder and Schau, but the Dallas Fuel positioning perfectly away from that overclock as Edison unleashes his 2 kills for the
Lucio?
Fuel, make that a 3rd. As the Seoul Dynasty just fall flatter than a pancake I had this morning. The Dallas Fuel with 25% away, or 15% away, sorry. Gonna claim this map, and Seoul struggling to get out of spawn.
Looking to punish them. If they can get any picks here, they're not going to get another fight. But Seoul Dynasty have a long way to go to be able to touch. It's going to be on Devindame to be able to get on.
Dallas hat noch Kitsune Rush.
Right side. Cheer's going to be looking for him to try and boop him away so they cannot get the touch.
Maybe Blossom. Das war
Entry there for Prophet to guarantee that touch.
Big.
Ticking down now as Kitsune Rush from Fielder is on the
Und hier kommt der Blossom.
Smurf didn't stand a single chance there. Kitsune Rush just with the regular shotguns. Yeah, you're dead. Like, you don't even need Death Blossom. It's just so much damage.
Seoul Dynasty just not really getting any purchase or control in that round. 16
huge.
to 3 for the Seoul Dynasty. They're just falling over, and it feels like Dallas is controlling positioning, controlling the tempo. Even on that first point, they were willing to give up the capture, recognizing that they could get an advantageous push later on. So Seoul Dynasty need to find a better way to enter into these fights, because right now in the mirror, they're falling a little short.
Yeah, no changes here. Can't imagine we'd see too many, but, you know, like you said, maybe Sparkle wings out the Tracer, but seems rather unlikely, especially on control. You're fighting over a central point anyway, so Tracer doesn't seem too advantageous. All right, quicker rollout for the Dallas Fuel here once again as they do reach the point first. Seoul Dynasty with the in though. Smurf just laying down that bubble. Running Fearless has got his. Quite a big cooldown, of course. We've talked about it. Deska's mentioned it a couple of times, where the bubble is such an important cooldown, blocking the healing, blocking shots from Sojourn. But unfortunately, Fielder, yeah, he didn't block that one for you. Unfortunately, Schau is going to fall with him, and the Dallas Fuel this time around get wiped. I guess at least Edison got a pick there, but it's not going to mean too much.
Fitz with an important first pick to give Seoul Dynasty the first capture. I think Fitz is one of those players who has been underrated throughout the history of just his career, being his partner in crime with Prophet. And he's just solid as a rock. I would put him on a similar pedestal to Edison right now. If the Seoul Dynasty are going to get the win in this series, I want to look at Fitz to be able to start taking control of the series, because Sojin is so impactful in this meta.
It's so scary for Dallas here.
Routing through the, there you go, lets it loose. So Sparkle actually already bites the dust. I'm curious how he ended up going down back quickly.
Oh no.
The Dallas Fuel trying to make Hightail out of here, but it's not going to end up working out. Iris does end up falling, but once again, I mean, he gets picked, but he's a Kiriko. He can teleport back to the rest of the team.
City reverse card.
Dynasty flipping this whole thing on its head. They are firmly in control. They are lacking kills, but that was just on the first round being so decisive.
And now we have the ultimates coming up, and this is really the important fight in these type of metas. How are you going to utilize your ultimates? The big one you need to look at. 50% to his sound barrier. He will not have that answer to the Kitsune Rush from Iris. So if Fielder drops it, they both drop it. Seoul Dynasty will have the advantage.
There's the Kitsune Rush. Primal Rage is popped by Dallas Fuel 2 to create some space. A lot of low health members on Seoul Dynasty. Iris trying to trap Fitz.
Primal Fitz, that's big.
The card's not reaching him in time, and now Fearless doing a little bit more work, pushing that Death Blossom away from the rest of his team, but unfortunately, his attention was fully focused on Prophet, and Iris and Vindame had the way with the rest of them.
Yeah, the beat came out a little late from Vindame, but it was fine because Schau didn't have the sound barrier to answer. But now he has that. Both DPS ults coming up from the Dallas Fuel, but they're at 87%. They're going
das ist Last Fight. Und Dennis hat das nicht einen Tick.
Double overclock on either side. Fitz
This
can
is
make
insane.
decisive if he chooses to. The beat comes out. Hits 5. Fitz in trouble. Is actually all alone. Escorts himself back to the rest of his team, but Edison's already taken down Iris. That's the 3rd time in a row. Iris has died in these fights super early. Smurf,
Huge.
Sound barrier, almost a guaranteed win there, Scott, as long as you execute quickly. Dallas Fuel did, plus they saved both DPS ults.
Fitz was just so afraid of that sound barrier. He pops the overclock, but wasn't even willing to peek his head against Edison. And look at this. Edison and Sparkle didn't even have to use their ultimates, and Seoul Dynasty have nothing. Now it comes on to Dallas Fuel to properly cycle their ultimates. Try and find easy wins with these.
Wenn Edison jetzt hier die Picks findet, das ist actually winnable. Du musst hier overcooked ziehen, sobald die das pushen.
Nice little rotation there from Seoul Dynasty. Now, I can imagine they're going to wait for speed and the bubble and all their little cooldowns up before they end up going in.
Nice blossom.
There, trying to get the death blossom. Bubble's nice from Fearless, but will it end up mattering as Shio's already dead?
Oh no.
Smurf is just running rampant in the back line. A complete split there from the Dallas Fuel. DPS looking one way, the rest of the team looking the other. A Kitsune rush to end the fight, and that
Unlucky.
as we do end up tying control.
Seoul Dynasty baiting the Dallas Fuel to go in. They went from one mega side to the other, and Dallas Fuel thought that was their time to go. Sparkle pops the Death Blossom.
Es ist so
Dynasty were already too far away. Forces
scary.
the overclock, but got met by Prophet. And Seoul
Man hat es ja schon gesehen. Prophet war direkt in Edison drin und konnte die Ult quasi tanken, dadurch, dass I don't know. Dass der Lucio von Dynasty mit Prophet war. Und dass keiner Soda mitgeheilt hat.
Seoul Dynasty with a great adjustment with a
Wird das einfach
disadvantage.
tanken.
We go 1-1, both teams having a pretty dominant round on each village and shrine.
Nice.
Yeah, look at that. Like you said, he was light years away. And then Fielder was kind of trapped. Like, he was on the other side of the bubble, he couldn't land that healing, had to swift step towards Fearless, but then
Das
straight
ist...
into the loving embrace of Smurf.
The loving embrace of Smurf. The Seoul Dynasty fans, perfect place to be. And that's the weakness of the Kiriko. If you use that teleport, you are susceptible to be dove by the Winston, so you got to be careful about where you do it.
Kleine Winston. Head on.
And this is just going to be a brawl for the edge.
Wait, what? How many cheers you had this morning, Sparkle? Add a few more to your bowl after that one. All right, Dallas Fuel end up losing their Reaper super early on. Not a pick you want to lose. Just the Reaper is just so much consistent damage in those neutral fights. If you lose that, you really just relying on Surgeon's headshot.
Pause.
Oh, PP. Brief
DP?
pause.
DP?
As you automatically see the value that Vindane brings to this roster, his aggressive style. He's had a couple of really big plays throughout the entirety of the season, doing that exact thing. Following up with Smurf, being able to get a little bit of extra damage, gives them that edge in these fights. So Vindane making his presence felt in this match.
All right, we'll see what is up. Fitz having maybe a little technical issue.
They're all looking so worryingly. They're really worried about
Smurf
Fitz
does look very concerned. It's okay. Don't worry. No one's spilt anything yet. That's on the bingo board, so all good.
We casted the game where we had a hand warmer explode, right?
Was jetzt was passiert ist.
How
For
does that
sure.
even happen?
I don't know.
You squeeze it too hard, you just that pumped up. God, that I don't know what's in those hand warmers, but I can't imagine it's very nice. Or nice for keyboards too.
Yeah.
Ich habe fast drops.
One-sided 2 rounds that we've had so far in this map. As Seoul Dynasty and Dallas Fuel both showing that once they have control, it's very hard to take it back away from them. And the old cycling, I don't think it's been as perfect as we've seen from both of these teams so far in the playoffs.
Yeah, maybe just realizing the other team's strength. Maybe a little bit of nerves setting in, but it feels almost impossible to have nerves, especially the play.
Scared the nation's a final play.
I mean, Smurf's a
Jesus.
beast.
5 Devs, die Runde.
Just the perfect metaphor, right? You kind of look at the
Huge.
roster, well, both rosters to be fair, both Smurf and Fearless being known for their Winston play. It was kind of about time we saw more Fearless. He popped his head up every now and then during the season, but Hanbin, just a god tank, and it's been such a benefit for the Dallas Fuel, and everybody wondered when we're going to see Fearless, when we're going to see a...
Ich mag die Teammasken mit dem Dynasty-Logo.
And it's crazy to think that Fearless has been sitting on the bench for this long, and coming into the playoffs...
So was würde ich mir auch noch holen.
Ready. Like, he's ready to rock and roll.
And that's the thing, they have Hanbin, a role star
beat.
on the bench, and it's been very much an off-tank meta so far throughout the season, but even when we have had Winston, Fearless in the Dallas Fuel map, as we get unpaused and Soul looking
Okay.
prime form, playing this Winston, Lucio, Kiriko style where they can move as a unit, and it's not as much about individual flanks and moving around the map. As we get unpaused, and Seoul Dynasty will take the first.
And on.
All right, first cap. Edison with 100 charge on the railgun. Narrowly giving Fitz a haircut there. All right, how do Seoul really defend here? Like the big split here from Fitz. It's going to be hard for Dallas Fuel to kind of capitalize on this. We'll still have the power slide. Vindame caught out completely in that corner. Must have gotten booped in somehow.
Big one.
Dallas Fuel take that kill for free, pretty much. I mean, now trying to force Fitz to score downs. Fearless with a bit of a short hop there. Does force Fitz to use that the
Fitz,
power slide.
der will Fitz bad.
Another free power slide and a free kill for Fearless. And Dallas Fuel kind of dismantling Seoul on their approach.
Yeah, Vindame getting caught with his pants down a little bit. I think he expected them to go the other direction, but came down, tried to exit through the outside, and got caught. So that's a free comeback for the Dallas Fuel as we start to see ultimates coming up. Fielder has that Kitsune rush. Look at them. They want to go early. They want to use this aggressively to catch Seoul Dynasty off guard.
Hiding around that corner, they must know. They must know something's up. Seoul Dynasty closed their own Kitsune rush. They're only a couple of percents. A TP through the bubble for Fielder to try and heal Fearless. Point is being
Smurf Primer.
Another Kitsune rush, and this whole Dynasty
Sparkle's going crazy.
comes back with the primal rage there, Scott, to try and turn the tides, but Sparkle had already had his way with him, doing him dirty just a little
I don't know about
I like
Primer.
the point pressure there, but it's a 4v5, and dude, they're just chasing Vindame into the spawn.
Vindame just got punched back into the spawn door. Fearless is like, go back. But Smurf using that primal gets low. Thinks going to the point is going to force the Dallas Fuel back. They're like, nah, we're going further forward.
Die Ult von Fearless, I don't know about that. Hätte sie besser gesaved.
But the Dallas Fuel are at 60% and ticking up right now.
Die hätte er besser gesaved.
Sparkle. Where is he hiding? What is he doing? Questions that need to be answered. Oh no, he's just there. All good. Don't worry. There's the overclock from Eddie. Pitch has got one of his own. Rather aggressive as Edison being right now, but look at the respect that Seoul Dynasty are paying. Do not want to lose a member right here, otherwise it will be last fight. Although speaking of which, if Seoul Dynasty take any more time
sie hat hier B.
into that situation, 80% on the board. Edison unflinching, like
Oh mein
you just stand there when Smurf
God.
straight in your face. Well, you got a beat, I suppose, and confidence, yeah, to boots. Overclock kill from Fitz onto Edison as Fearless also falls, and now Fitz has a pretty free reign over this point. 93% and building for the Dallas Fuel. Sparkle saves his Death Blossom for the next fight. Soul eventually regain control.
Yeah, Seoul were very ready for that sound barrier engage from the Dallas Fuel. Just disengage. Edison not able to get anything with the overclock. And then Seoul just re-engage with their sound barrier and their overclock. And now we have Death Blossoms. Re-engaging into a Death Blossom is so difficult because you have to clear every single corner. You can see Prophet holding this angle, trying to get into position to drop this one after the Suzu goes down from the Dallas Fuel.
Oh, Prophet.
The bubble goes straight on top of him for a bit of added protection. Suzu from Fuel to back up. A speed boost and a Suzu will do it. Although that'll be it.
Spark hat seinen eigenen Blossom und Fielder hat Kitsune.
Now the Dallas Fuel, they've at least got their own Death Blossom. But like you said, getting out of this choke point will be quite tough. Feels like you're going to have to burn Kitsune Rush at a minimum.
Well, they have the Kitsune Rush as well with Fielder, with the Sparkle Death Blossom. That pretty much is going back to 2016 with the Beyblade Menace. So let's see how they utilize this one.
Beyblade!
Everybody about to go crazy. There's the Suzu Death Blossoms. Couple of easy kills for Sparkle there. Over in a blink of an eye. We talk about how quick kills come in on Overwatch. Kitsune Rush just doubles, triples, quadruples that kill time.
That's it.
Run over the Seoul Dynasty on that first map and claim.
Huge.
Oh, Nepal. I mean, it was their map choice for Scott. I'd call you Rose there.
You can call me Rose, Jack. It's okay.
It was Seoul Dynasty's choice, and then Dallas Fuel actually get their choice of sides, so we'll see where they want to end up. But Seoul going here, I mean, when it comes to maps, Scott, how do you feel about this? Because a lot of the time, especially when it's things like Kings, it doesn't feel like when we're playing Mirror, it's for any specific reason, it's just, we feel most confident on this.
Yeah.
Not for like, okay, we want to play something funny here, thing.
Yeah, it's very rarely some super deep meaning. There
Thanks
is
for
no
all.
analytics or like nine-head type gameplay or thinking. It's just when we play this in scrims, we feel comfortable. We understand how we want to maneuver around the map, how we want to utilize our ultimates. How you play each point is very unique and different map to map. So I would expect that Seoul Dynasty are very confident in their ability to play this style on this map. But the Dallas Fuel, I don't think they have a weakness at this point.
It really doesn't feel like it. They've always been fairly scary. Although there was a funny stat on the bottom of the screen there. Seoul Dynasty 5-1 all time versus the Dallas Fuel. Very different teams by the looks of it. One familiar face though. It's your boy right there, Profit.
Playoff P.
Playoff P. Ready to rock and roll.
Okay. 2 Möglichkeiten für den Moment. Entweder Dynasty rush das hier head-on durch, was scary wäre. Oder sie gehen hier durch Hotel, was sie anscheinend auch gerade machen. Und machen keinen am Backslash. Backstep.
Fearless already going in for a bit of an aggressive dive there. It's quite interesting to see Fearless play against Smurf. Smurf very willing to use his bubbles quite quickly. Fearless very passive.
Dynasty hält sie an Hotel. Heißt, sie können nicht durch Hotel rotieren. Das Gute ist, für Dynasty, dadurch, dass Dallas sie hier vorne hält im Hotel, hat Fitz hier die ganzen Space für mehr oder weniger einen Aufhänge zu holen. Da musst du Fitz contesten, like die Fearless oder Sparkle in dem Fall, und gibst dafür Hotel auf. In beiden Fällen gibst du irgendeinen Angle auf, wo du gepressured wirst. Und das ist sad. Deswegen müsst ihr das jetzt backuppen. Dynasty hat die Point Control. Das ist hart für Dynasty, da wieder hinzurotieren. Im Moment.
Nice Suzu to save Profit's life. Did end up using the Wraith Walk too, so all about forcing cooldowns.
Okay, Edison slidet einfach durch. Okay. Okay. Das habe ich nicht erwartet von Edison. Er slidet hier im ganzen Team vorbei, nimmt den High Ground. Und dadurch muss Dynasty backuppen oder ihn contesten. Der Kitsune kommt und der Call kommt zum Backuppen. Obvious kann Dynasty Kitsune nicht fighten. Das funktioniert nicht.
They were just waiting for that Kitsune rush because they knew that that was their win condition. Fielded it so much healing because Fearless was taking so much damage. Look at how aggressive Fearless is being. He almost has his own primal.
Sie haben 2 Ticks. Fair enough.
But the big problem for Dallas Fuel is how do they deal with this Kitsune rush coming out from Iris?
Yeah, I mean, Shio's got the sound barrier. You're looking at maybe a sound barrier and a amp speed.
And the supporters für Dynasty jetzt. So, das nur mit Kitsune zu holen. Counterbeat. Was will er das hier so aggressiv in der Statue? Any picks? Oh! Huge pick! Yeah, unlucky.
I feel like they're just so slow with how they want to move around. They just could not dislodge Sparkle from this statue area. And Smurf's just taking so much damage. And I need to give credit to Fearless. He's just such a nuisance in the backline. Gets that primal off even when the Kitsune rush goes. And now, as you said, a minute 20, and they only have 2 ultimates remaining. The Death Blossom and the primal. How is Smurf going to try and get value with this?
Smurf muss hier Edison primeln.
Spots someone TPing to the back, ignores the Prophet completely. I mean, you've got to look around eventually. Sparkle looking
Nice.
for a Jet Blossom as Edison is taken down. Sparkle quickly looking to back out there, using that shift almost instantly. And Prophet comes on large. With
Huge Blossom.
Sparkle repays it in kind. A 2-3 kills for Sparkle as he's holding this point down. Just him versus Vindame on the point. Has to use the Wraith. Has got
contestable?
in this kit, but there's just too many spawners coming back in. Sparkle trying to
Unlucky.
turn it in their favor, but Soul hang on to the point.
A great
Das Gute ist, Dallas hat hier vorne den Choke jetzt zum Halten. Und bekommt auf dem Punkt zwei Teamfights. Zwei gute. Der Punkt ist, Dallas hält das hier, spielt aber in der Regel nicht sein Leben. Die können immer noch hierhin backuppen, wo Addison gerade steht. Zu dem eigentlichen Choke. Und der normalerweise gehalten wird.
That was a 3.5-minute first point hold, and now they have the positioning as well. This arch is so hard to push through, but Iris with that Kitsune rush, they're going to use that to break down the door, so the Dallas Fuel will have to back up.
Es ist nicht schlimm, wenn Dallas hier stirbt. Das ist es.
Does send someone from the Dallas Fuel reeling. There's the Kitsune rush. Little swift step into the Kitsune rush. Instant Suzu down there, Scott. So we can get another one online ASAP using that ability haste of the ultimates. As you see the Dallas Fuel ending up piecing out. Fearless unfortunately burning that Primal Rage just to stay alive.
We've seen that trade a lot, where you trade the Primal Rage, gives your team time to disengage, and then you can go back, and then Edison comes back in, picks off in first, and he was the one with the beat.
Yeah, perfect.
Das ist das, was ich gesagt habe. Dallas spielt hier nicht sein Leben. Macht einen Contest auf den Choke.
Dallas Fuel are going to go back and hold that arch as well. That's not going to be almost any time or positioning gain from the Soul Dynasty. And time
Oh, die hätten Spawn draus. Actually.
This is one that is very difficult to dislodge because, as you can see, Fearless can just sit up here on this high ground. Soul Dynasty are going to have to clear him.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
Yeah.
H went height. All good.
Nice read.
No more nuisance. I love Sparkle just kind of chilling up on height. You're Reaper. You're safe. It's all good.
Hier, selbes Prinzip. Sie hätten hier vorne, backen hierhin ab. Easy clap. Oh, okay, never mind.
Can they capitalize on this? The Soul Dynasty, unreal respect paid to the Fuel, even though there are only 4 people up. Should be only a matter of time before Edison comes back in, but now comes the railgun.
Overclock.
Smurf already flattening Fielder as Fitz makes his presence known in the front line. No kills, but a whole boatload of damage as Prophet finishes off 3.
That's a masterclass.
Das ist insane.
Of how you deal with that. They had the support ultimate disadvantage, but as soon as the Dallas Fuel drop the sound barrier, drop the Kitsune rush, they go back with their sound barrier and then re-engage. They get the picks. That's how you need to play it. And now they have the advantage with the ultimates, and the Dallas Fuel are the ones who are trying to re-engage into Soul.
Might be quite tough. Kitsune rush almost available for Soul Dynasty. There's the dive in from Smurf off the Primal Rage. Edison just the main focus right now. The Soul Dynasty. A perfect juggle by Smurf, but Sparkle again.
Sparkle is going crazy.
A double kill with the Death Blossom. He is just hiding somewhere. He's got like invis hacks or something. There's no way Soul Dynasty aren't seeing this. The Dallas Fuel.
Nicer Call vom Caster. Die Invis Hacks. Check it. Check it out.
Soul Dynasty through everything, including the kitchen sink at that fight. The Dallas Fuel are going to try and hold close, make them have to run through them to the point.
Primal Rage for Fearless in a couple of percent. Only real ultimate online for either team. It's more of a neutral right now.
Ja, das hat hier die Primal. Wenn Fearless Fitz jetzt Primal, ist das ein GG.
Now, what can Fearless do? He's got everything lined up. He's waiting for the dive in. Go straight to the back, puts the bubble down. Here's in trouble.
Oh, geht's zu die Burn? Oh no. Unlucky.
Fearless once again just causing so much aggro. Just make it look, everybody look at him. He's in the middle of the entire team, just smacking him around.
And Soul Dynasty don't want to spend their time trying to burn through that 1,000 health Winston that's in your backline. They need to move forward. They need to get picks. All of that fight, the whole round ended up.
Das Problem ist, Dynasty muss anders anfangen. Dadurch, dass Fearless die Primal hatte, ist auch Big Scary, 1000 HP Winston. Und obvious geht er genau für Fitz, damit der Main Damage, der One-Shot Damage, weg ist. Bei Fitz ist die einzige Chance, die Dynasty das hätte jetzt gewinnen können. Durch einen One-Shot. Und beide Teams wissen das, obvious. Das ist immer so. Das heißt, Winston primate die Soldier und Dynasty versucht, die Soldier am Leben zu halten. Und seht ihr vorne? Kitsuni wurde geburnt irgendwo? Wo war's? Der zieht die Primal, während er Low Drop. Ja. Er hat 200 HP. Das ist dann, wo er eine Private ziehen wird. Als Winston. Suzu ist draußen. Damit Dynasty hier nicht stirbt. Also Mandy Iris. Und jeder aimt hier auf Fearless. Die einzigen, die hier Fearless burnen können, sind die beiden DPS. Ob der Reaper und Fitz. Das Problem ist, wir haben andere Probleme. Es ist Overtime. Wir müssen Scar touchen. Wer toucht in Overtime Scar? Da ist dann Winston, wo mittlerweile dead ist. Dadurch, dass Kitsuni geburnt wurde. Und dann Reaper. Das bedeutet, der Reaper muss das Scar touchen. Und Fitz, already low, stirbt so oder so jetzt. Keine Chance, dass Iris das gegenhält. Und maybe dann Lucio. Und das ist auch Scar. In dem Fall muss er halt eine Entscheidung treffen. Denn Lucio ist der hier die Entscheidung treffen muss. In dem Fall. Wo er hinläuft. Fitz hat keine Chance, der muss ja den Winston fighten. Er wurde dahin geprimet, keine Chance, dass der irgendwie zum Card kommt. Deine Keiko muss Fitz helfen. Und der Lucian muss hier eigentlich das Card touchen. Problem ist, der Lucian ist hier oben.
Smurf was supposed to be on, gets taken care of by Edison. Fearless once again just causing so much aggro. Just make it look, everybody look at him. He's in the middle of the entire team.
Dynasty hat das nicht falsch gespielt. Don't get me wrong. Sie müssten ja eigentlich Fitz sterben lassen und dann mit einem 4v5 Payload Fight nehmen. Aber in dem Moment diese Entscheidung zu treffen, keine Chance.
And now the Seoul Dynasty have a monumental task to now hold the Dallas Fuel to the second point as well.
Saw a cheeky little grin there from
Which one?
on the little cams.
Loves a grin.
Yeah. Quite a smiley boy, that's for sure. Wow, the Seoul Dynasty. I mean, the ball was fairly close, but it very much felt like Fuel had a stranglehold on Seoul for the majority of that. We saw Seoul doing a fair good job of negating a lot of those support ultimates, like saying disconnecting themselves from the fight, like we don't want anything to do with it.
How did this happen? Takes down Prophet.
Just hits him in the face.
This is insane.
People jumping, hey, I'm coming to save you, please focus the Reaper.
Iris is trying to help him and he ends up in a corner with the Death Blossom.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on right here?
Honestly, for me, it feels like as much as Seoul Dynasty are dealing with the ultimates well, they're
Ich habe ja gerade irgendwie so diesen Silberspieler-Voice sein. Im Kopf. Kill the Reaper, kill the Reaper!
cycling is right. Dallas Fuel has the control of the tempo. They are choosing
Why is he not there?
when the fights happen, and that is the big difference. As Iris is doing the classic Kiriko thing, getting some damage in before the fight really pops off.
Ich hab so bad healed.
Alright, wrap around the statue for the Dallas Fuel. Oh, nice little flank there from Fitz. That was a big disruptor shot. A lot of AoE damage. Fuda gets taken down. Fitz eventually
Good pick.
paying for his sins there.
Better for Dallas though, because Fielder will come out of spawn much faster and he can just TP out with the Kiriko teleport.
Listen darf hier nicht sterben.
It's a 5v4. How are Dallas going to utilize this?
Nice.
They're jumping in AS. They're back at it once again, but Vindane just annihilated. And now Smurf a key target. Steady Eddie is here to stay. The Dallas Fuel. The wave
Cleaner Punkt.
by Edison. They're going to cap point A.
Cleaner Punkt.
Dave's got to put a little bit more respect on Edison's name right now. That's the second or third time I think he's been caught riding a wall out on the side, and Edison's just taken off his head. So maybe playing a little bit.
Hier. Das ist das, was jeder machen sollte. In Ranked. Man erinnert sich in den Ranked-Matches, jeder würde sich jetzt hier im Kart stacken. Ich würde komplett Rider gehen, warum? Komplett eskalieren, warum wieder auf dem Kart sitzt. Ich ärgere mich jetzt schon. Ich merke schon. Ich kriege jetzt schon Puls. Warum sitzen Leute hier auf dem fucking Kart? Eine Person muss im Kart sitzen. In dem Fall ist der Reaper, warum auch immer. Ich würde die Kiriko persönlich dahin setzen. Oder den Lucia. Lucia nicht wirklich, weil du hier vorne hältst, aber die Kiriko. Und sobald Dynasty das für pushen tut, kannst du das Match nicht nehmen, das ist ein 4v5. Obvious. Sobald Dynasty das pushen tut, deckst du einfach ab zu dieser Ecke. Und du bist fein. Der Reaper kommt vom Kart, bam. Das Kart ist in dem Fall dann nicht schon hier. Bis die das gepusht haben. Und du kannst ganz entspannt hier in der Ecke den Fight nehmen.
More safe. As you can see, Dallas are going to try and get aggressive, start getting their ultimates up as they have the ultimate advantage. Once again, Fielder has the Kitsune rush, and historically in this series, Dallas Fuel have tried to go early, try and go fast, recognizing they have that advantage.
Yeah, how far are they going to play up? It is currently Sparkle on the payload pushing.
Dallas pusht das zur Ecke. Like I said.
I mean, ideally you just want one big fight here on this section of the street, so it forces Seoul Dynasty in a horrible spot.
Eins der beiden Teams will das weiter pushen im Moment.
Just backing up just a little bit. Both Kitsune rushes thrown down. That's a lot of pavement that needs redoing after this. The Dallas Fuel though with a perfect isolation on that bubble again. Fitness's bubbles have just been magical to watch. A quick team kill for the Dallas Fuel, and they used a single ultimate in that fight.
And the
Das
gap
ist
coming very quickly with 3 people on the point.
so scary.
Very difficult for the Seoul Dynasty to close this distance. They're going
Dynasty
to
muss das somehow
Primal Reaper
contesten.
even get close to touch.
There's only one person on the payload.
Smurf hat Primal. Und sie haben Beat.
Thank themselves for that. Edison going for an aggressive peek with that overclock, but Seoul Dynasty need to touch. Smurf.
Fitz muss hier.
Someone, please. 3 people here with the beat from the Seoul Dynasty, but Dallas Fuel still have ultimates in their
Sonic?
pockets. Fearless with a prime race.
That's free!
Fearless to another dimension, and now it's just Vindane versus Sparkle on the points. Smurf history, and the Seoul Dynasty might be there as well. Goodbye. History books have been written. The Dallas Fuel are going to push that payload in, and they're going to get match point just like that.
This is not the close series that a lot of us
Nice.
are hoping for. A lot of people have been saying that Dallas Fuel are the team to beat, but I thought Seoul Dynasty
Fuck,
would
mein
be a lot
Mikrofon nimmt das gar nicht auf, ne?
That map
Unlucky.
was 13 to 37
Oh, clap.
final blows. Dallas Fuel firmly in control of this series.
Just domination on an unprecedented scale right now for the Dallas Fuel.
Unlucky.
Back to this.
Das war so clean gespielt, der Punkt.
The way that they're approaching these fights, as we keep saying, the tempo of the Dallas Fuel Fearless is just getting in their face, and they haven't been able to punish. Maybe if they can get more
Es ist einfach insane. Sparkle findet einfach die Picks mit seinem Death Blossom. Somehow. Genauso wie vieles mit seiner Primal. Das Einzige, warum Dorado im Moment gespielt wird so viel, ist, weil die Metacomp auf der Map so stark ist mit Winston. Aber ich gehe jetzt erstmal aufs Klo und hol mir was zu trinken. Von daher bis gleich. Okay. Here we go.
Quite like it. There's a lot of open ground here for the Reaper to traverse. A bit difficult without the kind of speed boost. Echo gives you a lot of burst potential with the sticky bombs, and copy. You don't get as much value copying a tank anymore. You only get that 300 HP, but it's still having a double Winston. It's still pretty damn good. We'll see if there's any small changes here. Looks like Dallas Fuel are going to be running with the Tracer. Okay.
And the reason that I believe that we have seen the Tracer instead of the Reaper is because as Reaper, there's a lot of long sight lines. It can be difficult to close that distance. The value of Reaper really comes when you can get in and out with the Wraith Walk. But Tracer, especially on this defense, you can just sit on the high ground, go aggressive, bounce between these yellow and red buildings, and then when you want to go down, you can...
Ich mag die Tracer hier.
So it gives you a lot of freedom to move around the map, put pressure onto the backline. Let's see if Prophet is going to return on this Tracer as well. He's at the spawn door. We might see a trade spare.
Yeah, not even a shot from Fitz there to try and tag someone on Widow. Looks like we are seeing it. One of the picks he made his name on, the Tracer. Prophet locking it in. Okay, they know it's a Tracer mirror too, as Prophet got shot in the back by Sparkle, who's just hanging around the corner. Or on the high ground, I should say.
And just see what Sparkle's doing. He's just sitting up here, unloading clip under clip into the backline. And it's going to be very difficult for Seoul Dynasty to punish. And he can always heal for them as well at any moment. So he's just playing infinite pressure alongside Fearless. As you can see, Seoul Dynasty just struggling to get the cart upwards and get any control right now.
Yeah, actual free damage for Sparkle there. I think a pulse one pretty damn fast. Probably doing the same though, almost matching it. Alright, high ground control on the name of the game for the Seoul Dynasty by the looks of it. Get Fitz into a position where he can actually do damage. He's also looks rather quiet. You talked about how he was so underrated. Maybe he needs to prove how much value that he provides to Seoul Dynasty, at least in this match.
Down.
Going down again.
Tracer ist so ekelhaft zu spielen im Moment.
That would have been dirty onto Sparkle. Over the Tracers. Bidame, he do be skating. He is now dead. All good. All
Nice.
good. 2.5 minutes now.
Smurf has just been struggling to get going. Every time it feels like he's rearing his head, the Dallas Fuel just putting so much pressure. And you can see Dallas
Nach dem Matchup gehen wir aber BOB. Hab ich gehört. Zum Pre-Patch.
Prophet is just kind of sneaking around too, lurking in the sewers. No, but instantly you see that Dallas Fuel just making
Vielleicht für eine Stunde 2. Mal schauen.
Actually forces the rest of Seoul Dynasty on the low. Dallas Fuel end up giving up hype, but they're playing all the way at the back. Their understanding of where to play is just unreal. Let's see what Prophet can do with this pulse. Sparkle's got one of his own.
Moment. Ich hat grad was gesehen. Und unlucky. Geht's so nicht für viele? Oh, er misst den Blink. Iris? Gefällt? Der T-Back?
And I don't blame him. 90 seconds remaining for the Seoul Dynasty. They are once again just struggling to get anything done. Smurf's only at 70% ult charge. They need to find a way to get him into this point, get him comfortable, enable the dive, get something going.
Alter, das hackt mich so ab, dass hier die ganze Zeit dieses scheiß Logo auftaucht, ne? Why? Why do you do this?
Small little dive there from Smurf. Here is following up with a swift step. Once again, Dallas Fuel, it's like they know, it's like they're on a chessboard. Okay, they're here, now we go here. Now we're here, we go here. Instantly backing off around that statue. Overclock coming out. Searching for Sparkle's head, but Fitz is instantly
Oh mein Gott.
Fitz with another fantastic bubble, but this time Smurf gets his revenge. Steady Eddie dead. Is the Dallas Fuel now pushing all the way back. Phil is trying to turn it around, but that primal rage is just free ultimate charge for the rest of the Seoul Dynasty.
Das kriegt er nicht viel gemacht.
The overclock eventually wears off, and so does the health bar of Fielder. Very little healing in general now for the Fuel, as Chio and Fearless will die. So Dynasty, okay, they're looking alive.
Still in it, and that was much better by Smurf. Getting in the face, counter-diving the aggression of the Dallas Fuel, able to get the punish onto Edison, which removes that overclock from the equation. So now, they need to start getting more time. See what happened here with Chio.
Boom, hit that beat. Edison was in that bubble at that time. What a perfectly placed bubble from Smurf. Stop the Sojourn.
Beautiful play, beautiful play. Edison with this overclock now. We've talked about how he has been getting the better end of this Sojourn matchup so far. Let's see what he can get from this one. You can see teams generally, they want to just push the cart.
Wir hatten eben schon drüber geredet, der Icon hier.
Dallas Fuel that are holding, but you can see Fearless doesn't want to get
Sehr strong.
progress coming at all. He's trying to pressure it, jumping down, taking damage, giving Fielder more time to get that Kitsune rush up.
Don't give Edison a straight line. That's exactly what he's got right now. He's got 100 charges.
Oh, okay.
Jumps out straight in front of him. Instant overclock kill onto Profit. A double kill for Eddie.
Hitting it.
Around the corner. Full aggro now. Just hunting for clips. And he almost found one. A triple kill for Edison. Schau kills Fitz. And the Dallas Fuel, well, they're going to spawn camp, Scott. Of course they are.
Of course, this has been the name of the game for the Dallas Fuel. They just apply so much pressure to Soul.
Prophet ist ein bisschen on flank.
Touching the spawn as we speak. Prophet might be trying to go towards the cart.
Oh, Fitz knows.
That was quite nice presence of mind
Oh.
by Prophet. Oh, the melee looks
It's so sad.
melee straight onto the Sojourn. Edison just shrugged it off, put a plaster on it, and backed up. All right, Dallas. Once again, reassuming the position near this near the payload. Both Kitsune rushes used. Prophet still hunting for a tie with the pulse bomb, but it goes wide. Edison still gets chased down. That pulse bomb not doing damage, Scott, but actually split the Sojourn away from the rest of the team. Schau falls, and the Seoul Dynasty now up to 3 players make that. As we're nearing OT as we push this second point, Scott. Dallas Fuel, they're going to have beat re-engage.
Absolutely. This fight is going to be so important to the Seoul Dynasty. They have so many ultimates. I want to see them assume control. You can see the difference between the way Seoul Dynasty and Dallas Fuel are playing. Smurf's just sitting on the cart. At this point, Fearless would have been touching the spawn door. That is really the major difference, is Solar giving Dallas Fuel the space to walk in and take the fight on their terms. And now it feels like Fitz is under pressure, forced to use this overclock.
God, Schau with a mid-air beat there. Almost lined it up for Fitz. Overclock being used, but little to
Nice
no
primer.
advantage. Fitz just batting him away. The rest of Dallas Fuel in a little bit of trouble.
Oh my.
Fitz still finds value with that
Das war
rage.
nasty.
Giving up Sparkle as Smurf also uses his primal rage. The Seoul Dynasty, this is what we wanted to see from you. 25 seconds to go.
Das war nasty Shot von Fitz.
And now they have a minute and
Auf der Tracer.
into third.
Jesus.
Fitz there. Fearless trying to go aggressive with the primal rage, with the sound.
Mein Fearless hat hier nichts unbedingt falsch gemacht. Er musste ja Fitz primen. Aber er hat den Pick nicht gefunden. Fitz hat den Support bekommen. Und ich glaube, dem Lucio war es.
As we see Sparkle actually moves over to the Reaper, there's a lot more corners, a lot more value that you can get from the Reaper on this third point.
Oh yeah. Wonder if Prophet is just going to change. I can imagine just after Pulse Bomb, just wants to get it out of the way, force a cooldown, or hopefully get a kill. Have to wait and see. All right, Fearless, slowly but steadily, drops onto the point, lays down the bubble, there's the pulse. Didn't connect by the looks of it. Smurf ends up falling over. Once again, another well-placed bubble from Fearless, stopping that heal coming in. And the Suzu too.
The Winston bubble blocks both the healing from the Kiriko and the Suzu. So if
Nice.
you isolate the target, the Kiriko either needs to teleport into the bubble, or they need to just accept that they cannot help their Winston. So Smurf has been punished for that multiple times. Fearless doing a great job of isolating Smurf or whatever target he's going on time and time again, as we see Prophet switch over to the Reaper now as well.
All right, yeah, so double Reaper. Kitsune rushes available for both sides. Pretty even fight when you think about it. No overclock for Seoul, but that'll be online in just a moment. Once again, Dallas Fuel playing up to the gate, Scott.
Making them work for every inch, every single team fight. So even when they're winning, they're not getting much space.
Kitsune rushes coming in for both sides as all Fitz just delivers Edison straight back to spawn as overtime is approaching. There is an overclock available for Fitz, but if he manages to hold on to this one, they should be good to lock this payload in. That power slide away from Fearless, almost a third one on the cooldown, but no Sparkle coming in. He's hitting like thunder, but he disappears like smoke. Prophet just disintegrates him right in front of his face. A beat comes out from the Dallas Fuel to hold on to this fight as Edison is back, but the overclock gets no value.
Fitz hat hier noch Overclock.
The Dallas Fuel are trying to run for the hills, but Chio's been isolated by Smurf with a great primal. Gets him before he gets the mega health, and now the card is moving. Edison has the high ground, but Fitz is coming back with the overclock.
What is the price of Vindave's head right now? Edison is collected
Oh, so scary.
from Fitz. Looking down the straightaway, but everybody's just dodging out the way of these shots. The bubble comes up.
Prophet hat hier auch
Once again, we're still in
Dingens.
overtime, and we've been this for
Lass ihn.
quite considerable time at this point. So you step off it, you are going to lose, Soul. I mean, Prophet jumping at the last second. Here's the death boss and the
Yes.
right at the end of the road for Soul. It's only Fitz left. The Dallas Fuel gonna hold that payload just before the second point.
Signs of life from the Soul
Scary.
Dynasty, but not enough to cap through Dorado. I think it goes
Ich weiß, ich hab's nicht viel dazu gesagt in dem Match, aber
they're just so afraid to take these fights. It feels like
es
they're
ist
not willing to play aggressively.
schwierig zu beschreiben.
Sort of force the Dallas Fuel to be uncomfortable. So it
Es
feels
ist einfach
like
immer wieder
Dallas is just
dasselbe.
dictating everything that they want. We saw some great moments from Fitz, and that showed some life, and that's important. He needs to keep putting up those kills, getting those numbers. But right now, they need to put on a miraculous hold against the Dallas Fuel, or they're going down to the low bracket.
Oh man, it's interesting looking at the stats and the numbers behind this game right now, because Fitz on the side of the Soul Dynasty is doing about 32% of his team's damage. Compare that to Edison, who's only at 24% of his team's damage. Sparkle is doing the heavy lifting there, as Prophet also kind of dipping down. It's like the roles are reversed on each team. Sparkle doing the most for the Dallas Fuel, but Fitz doing the most for Soul Dynasty. And we're on even kills too, 21 apiece.
And I think that goes to show what I'm trying to say of there isn't any difference in the numbers of who's getting more kills, who's doing more damage or healing. It is literally just that Dallas Fuel, I think, is having more control over these maps. Having more control over when they're wanting to use their ultimates, when they're trying to take the space. If Soul Dynasty can start getting into that choking aspect against the Dallas Fuel on their own defense, they could start turning this series around.
There's a smile from Edison, that's a rare one. Oh, all good. Still grapple shot.
Oh.
Wow, Fitz
Sad.
in there just a little bit.
Fitz hat die Moves.
Shake it off, Eddie. Straight back to the Soja. It's 5% ult charge. Look at that, how generous.
And both Sparkle and Prophet going back to the Tracer, prioritizing that hero on this first point, as I said, just gives you a lot more freedom to walk around the map on the first and second point. As you can see,
Ja, ich wollte gerade sagen, eines Team müsste droppen. Oder wird hier droppen.
Doing a fair amount of damage to Fearless. In return, Fearless jumps up, is matched with Sparkle. That disruptor shot doing a fair bit to Fearless, but instant Suzu from Fielder to cleanse that slow effect as they do move out of the slow field. Shio's in a little bit of trouble, yeah. Focused, he was playing Claw Lucio there, not on the walls, not too much speed, but Vindive doing the same thing. Trying to go for an assassination, a rather bloodbath at the spawn doors right now. But
It's so messy.
using both supports, they have to back up.
This is good for the Dallas Fuel because their spawn doors are so close, so they will be able to get a little bit more movement from the cart, move it further up as they wait for their respawns. No ultimates up just yet, but once again, Fielder taking the lead in the Kitsune Rush battle.
A double pulse. Prophet's got his online, Sparkle 10% away. What can you do? Let's have a look, Prophet. Playoffs Prophet. That's what's got to show up right now to keep themselves in this.
Aufengel für Prophet.
Nice stick, but even better Suzu there from
Nice.
Fielder to save the Sojourn.
Okay.
Chased down, but Smurf dying is
Unlucky.
a lot less space now that Soul Dynasty can create. They do even this up with Fitz taking and claiming the lives of the Dallas Fuel. He really has been putting up the numbers, and the Soul Dynasty are going to hold the payload just for the moment.
Very important hold there for Soul Dynasty. All of a sudden, the full hold becomes a lot more likely as you see Prophet trying to hunt Sparkle down, but unable to get the punish. So now, all the ultimates are coming online. As I said, the Kitsune Rush versus Kitsune Rush.
Und dann ist das hier richtig cycled, haben die das.
How are both teams going to try and utilize this?
Es ist für beide Teams winnable.
It's up for Vinde.
Yeah, Rush available for the Dallas Fuel, but Iris is like 3% away. The sound barrier comes out late from Vindame as Fitz already done.
Wird Pick auf dem Lucio.
This is the fight over, it's already done with, and Iris popped that Kitsune Rush to try and find a foothold, but slipped over, and so did the rest of his team.
Unlucky.
The Soul Dynasty was so close to matching that Kitsune Rush, and that beat not hitting Fitz. I mean, that's just tragic.
Yeah, it's just a little too late coming out from Vindame, so they used both of their support ultimates in a losing fight, and Dallas just walked forward and used it. They didn't even do anything incredibly special. So all of a sudden, Soul Dynasty on the back foot a little bit again. Need to get back into control. Oh, wow. Edison.
Oh. Sojourn doof.
All the way to second point.
Just kidding.
Can they actually capitalize much on this? I mean, you're still kind of juggling the high ground, just a bit of free payload push, I suppose. You know Soul aren't going to kind of int on top of you. That's kind of nice. Ooh, Sparkle.
He's looking for
Oh, you got spotted. They know.
Power slide up to the height. Yep, all good. It's safe. but only for now.
Just trying to remain a threat. Keep Seoul Dynasty keeping an eye on him as he's diving now with Fearless. Fearless has the primal, being disruptive on the high ground.
Again!
No.
Goes wide, but Edison opening these fights up.
Prophet muss diese Pilzbomben
And the Seoul
treffen.
Dynasty, they've got ults, but they cannot afford to lose them at this point. You end up pushing around this final corner, you're going to need that primal rage to contest. I mean, the Dallas Fuel, you know that what they're going to do.
Not gonna lie, ich würde den Reaper switchen.
Look at them. We were literally in
Ja,
this exact same
macht Prophet auch.
situation on the other sides. Here's where Fearless is holding. He's holding on this door. Anywhere the Seoul Dynasty go, they're going to be getting zapped. There's going to be so much pressure coming out, and this will give space to Edison with the overclock.
The pulse. How quick are your fingers, Irish? You got to protect from that pulse bomb. Fitz already used that dash, but actually Sparkle a little bit too scared of that overclock. I don't think Dallas Fuel are right now, to be very honest with you. Edison was peeking him there for just a brief moment.
Smurf contesting.
Meters away from that second checkpoint, but Profit is making sure they keep this competitive. The Dallas Fuel are going to have to back off and go again.
Great primal by Smurf, just disrupting the Dallas Fuel and how they wanted to play the game. So now this is a very advantageous place to hold the point. You can have Fitz back on this high ground. You're going to be able to control this, and Dallas Fuel have such a long way to go to get onto the backline of the Seoul Dynasty.
Nice stick.
It should not be enough to punish him though.
No, yeah,
Oh.
he actually got the Suzu there at the very end, but Vindine's caught again! You can't keep doing this. The Seoul Dynasty
Fearless
Vindine's
is
caught.
going crazy.
I'm curious on like what
Oder
his
allgemein
pathing was
das.
there. Sparkle
Nicht
just
nur
chased him down.
Fearless.
That's the second fight in a row where Sparkle's managed to pick off this Lucio, and Dallas Fuel now on their final approach.
Yeah, and they have 3
Sparkle's
minutes to
auch
make
auf Reaper.
as well. Sparkle's already made that switch over to the Reaper, recognized he needs to do that quickly. They have no ultimates in the bank, but they do have a wealth of time.
Kitsune rush for the Seoul Dynasty. Seems like a pretty easy fight for the Dallas Fuel to disengage, and they're going to do just that, but the space is bought for Seoul. Okay. Well, it looks like Fearless and Smurf are in a little tickling match there.
Oh.
Guns to the tickling match as he takes care of him, but I mean, it's still the Seoul Dynasty. They have to repair, and we talked about it before, but losing a Reaper in this situation, nothing really to punish the front line, so the Dallas Fuel are getting free push.
And that was the Kitsune rush by the Seoul Dynasty.
Dynasty hat hier beide Deepest und den Beat.
Fearless has that primal rage, and he has been exceptional with that so far this series.
Sparkle hiding around that corner there, comes the bubble, fits in a hole.
Fitz dies. Fitz dies. Oh no. Das ist bad für Dallas. Huge. Overclock.
You could save him for the grand finals, Dallas, because if you're playing like this, you're headed straight there. There's a couple of meters to go.
Oh, das ist so nasty.
Locked out, back to spawn. The Dallas Fuel.
Fitz auf Widow.
No worries, son.
Nope.
3-0 for the Fuel. Whatever the comp, whatever the meta, whoever the opponent, the Dallas
Das
Fuel
war
continue to
huge.
fight and dominate.
Der Fokus auf Fitz ist insane am letzten Punkt gewesen.
Shaking in their boots a little bit at that one. I think that was
Hallo. Gehen. Ich weiß, wo wir aufgehört haben. Und zwar schauen wir heute in die zweite Hälfte. When Findets. brauche ich auf keinen großartig zu warten. Dank meiner großen Zuschauerzahl. Just kidding. Und daher hätte ich gesagt, fuck that shit. We are in this.
Striker showed up big time on the
Wir hatten zuletzt Control, Kingsrow, Dorado. Jetzt kommt Push. Der Push-Map, Esperanza. Für das Line-Up. Let's see.
plays vastly different than New Queen Street and Coliseum, which have been in the map pool for the entire season. And you wonder, like, they wouldn't win it. I'd say
Esperanza ist, finde ich, die beste Push-Map, wenn ich den Modus nicht mag.
disproportionate number of times compared to other push maps.
Von daher,
Esperanza, it never truly is over. We throw these stats out.
it's nice.
The team who gets the first checkpoint wins X amount of the time. On this map, though, that trend seems to be
Jeder steht die Glocken. That's how it goes.
music to my ears. Yeah.
The Shock just spamming the bell at the top. So we'll go see what the Dallas Fuel are doing for now. Because it is all business
Okay,
on the
sad.
fuel side of things.
Well, business ain't great right now, so you want to hope so.
Business
Meta comes for the win.
on the fuel side. So
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, our fourth map in this first of four series. Esperanza is about to kick off.
Okay, im Idealfall nimmt Schock den Fight hier vorne. Also beide Teams versuchen entweder hier vorne zu fighten, an den 2 Ecken. Oder hier hinterm Punkt, solange der noch nicht aktiv ist. Für dann keiner den Highground auszunutzen. Es macht ja nichts aus, wenn Schock hier taktisch zurückfallen würde oder Dingens. Oder Dallas zurückfallen würde. Weil dann könnten sie besser mit dem Highground spielen.
and I like this position that Mikey's gotten early. It makes it very costly just
Hier Addison. Addison hat hier keinen dann Off-Angle. Mikey hat es realisiert, dass er gesplittet ist. Der Call ist jetzt hier Addison zu killen.
Dallas Fuel. It's actually push on him. He gives it up. He actually goes in pretty deep.
Yeah, I love that dive. Put that pressure on Edison, deny that off angle now. Dallas are all forced to group up around Edison to protect him now. They give up a lot of space, and that's what allows
Das ist bad für Dallas. Das ist bad für Dallas.
That was a sitter there on Chio. He
Und jetzt ziemlich stacked.
meantime, they've lost Mikey.
Na, meint?
Convert on the space.
Mikey ist too deep.
San Francisco have to give up the ghost pretty quick.
Unfortunate.
See, for me, I actually think the play there is for Mikey to actually hold that position. You have to, because then it forces the Reaper and the Winston around that corner.
Mikey hätte nicht reinpushen dürfen.
Some shots, disruptor shot, you can actually shoot right in that cubby, right on top of Mikey. Make it costly in terms of HP pools. Dallas would have had to back out and then you dive. I think once you get that position to dive in right away, you give up that advantage that you worked hard to earn.
High ground now for Dallas. That's their prize for being able to push to this first little choke here. Finn, Suzu thrown down there. Edison hoping to capitalize and follow. Not able to come up with anything just yet. The bot will stall out under the bridge for the time being here. Dallas want to regroup for a moment.
Chio's got to be so careful.
I like
And a
that
wall
shot.
riding on top of those bubbles.
Dallas get forced back around the corner here.
Kitsuni.
No Kitsune
Wir
rush.
Dallas.
Gonna spur them forward. Mikey trying to take to the sky,
Yep,
but he
that's too much damage.
ground lifeless. It's an easy one for Sparkle. And here goes the bot, still on the move. San Francisco now have to make something happen with 4.
Das ist bad für Schock.
Mikey coming back off spawn. This map is way bigger than a lot of the other push maps.
Awkward stuff here. Chio there disrupting the shot as they try and line up and use his high ground to their advantage, but they've found nothing so far, not even a rail, not even a lick of damage. Here they come though, Kitsune rush! And they're dancing among the cobblestones.
And Fearless tries to jump up to the high ground. Maybe to get the shock players off there. Gets booped down by Finn. And Chio actually tries to dislodge the members of the shock from that high ground.
Ja, actually, das talk about that. Ich würde eigentlich nicht drüber reden, aber. Why not? Wofür sind wir denn hier? Schock contesten das, damit die den Forward Spawn nicht bekommen. Du hast öfters in Rank den Call, dass sie das contesten, wollen wegen Forward Spawn. Der Forward Spawn ist nicht so ein Big of a Deal. Du hast halt gefühlt 2 Meter weniger zu laufen. Ja, danke dafür, Blizzard. Das macht halt absolut nichts aus. Wenn jetzt der Forward Spawn, sagen wir mal, hier wäre, ist ein ganz anderes Thema. Aber, I don't know, es macht gefühlt nichts. Anyways. Das Gute ist, Shock hätte den Highground. Der das respektiert das, dass die da stehen. Das ist relativ schwierig, auch ohne Tank, weil Mikey ist gestorben, wir erinnern uns. Auch ohne Tank das zu pushen. Und gleichzeitig respektiert Dallas den Damage, den Proper und Striker hier immer noch anrichten können. Es hat auch keinen Grund, die hier oben zu contesten, weil Shock muss zu ihnen kommen. Die müssen Dallas contesten. Was sie genau hier machen mit Kitsune Rush. Und ja. Gut ist halt, dass Shock hier den Highground hat. Das ist der Vorteil von gegenüber Dallas. Und sie einfach auf Dallas Field droppen können. Ja. Mikey ist wieder back. Deswegen der Kitsune Rush. Ja. Das war unlucky. Das ist für beide Teams aber scary. Rock hat's einfach besser gemacht. Was war das für eine Primal? Er wollte proper Primal, hat's aber nicht gemacht. Das ist bad. Nice Primal von Mikey. Oh, das ist bad für Dallas. Das war gerade ein huge Play von Mikey. Im Idealfall contestet Dallas das, sobald der Bot hier ist. Damit sie ähnlich wie Shock eben die Sideline hier haben. Papa versucht sich hier. Papa wird hier spielen. Mit Finn wahrscheinlich. Und dann auch Overclock ziehen. Overclock. Overclock. Oh, huge pick. Maybe muss er das gar nicht töten. Addison ulted instead. Uff. Addison hat das noch fast geturnt, aber... Oh. Ja, das kannst du auch contesten. Wir haben Primal. Boah, das ist Big Damage auf dem Reaper. War von dem Reaper. Das ist eine Kuh. Huge. Das ist unfortunate. Und da sieht man, wie viel Damage der Reaper macht. Der Reaper spielt so gut mit dem Winston und gegen Winston. Das ist brutal in dieser Comp.
so fast. Right now, getting an average of, a minute and 48. But Schau on the other side, he's been holding it, he's working his way towards another one now, but 2 minutes and 41 seconds. It's so fast getting these sound barriers for the Shock.
Violence having a great game, by the way, doubling up Schau.
Oh.
And Proper is there again. Edison just has to cop that one sweep. Take another crack at it next time. Every time that happens, you just feel like a little bit of the soul is just drained out of the Dallas Fuel. It's just so disheartening to try and push
So unfortunate.
those railgun shots come up, result in those big kills. Promise still hungry.
Okay. Da kommt die Overclock.
He's kind of flesh here.
Oh, okay.
You best get up early if you want to come at the king like that. And make it another. Bring me more, says Proper.
Okay.
Eventually,
That's,
neutralize him, but the damage may already been done. Fielder uses the Kitsune rush here.
ja, das Contest ist immer noch. Ziemlich gut sogar.
Dallas are trying to establish a
Mike ist ziemlich low.
really in order to do so. So
What's happening?
to invest extremely heavy here, and they still don't even have the bot going in their direction. Finn's gonna use the Kitsune rush. You have Striker with a death blast and turn around.
Oh no.
Or you can run. Oh, they get out so fast.
Great disengage from
Ja, das war ready dafür.
Barrier and Kitsune rush there from the Shock.
Okay. Was da war.
So
Lass kurz drüber reden.
has to invest extremely heavy here, and they still
Hier kommt der Kitsune von Finn.
going in their direction.
Der geht allerdings bis hier vorne hin.
Finn's gonna use
Wo der Reaper hier tipiert, wo Sparker hin tipiert.
the Kitsune rush. You have Striker
Und Striker ultet hier. Und der Beat wurde benutzt. Hat aufgefallen. Dallas ist einfach mit dem Kitsune Rush. In der Sekunde, wo der Kitsune rauskommt, hat Schau geampt. Und Dallas hat einfach das Go zum Weglaufen gegeben. Dallas ist komplett disengaged. Aus dem Kitsune, aus der Reaper Ult, aus dem Beat draußen. Und das alles nur durch Schau. Durch den Amp.
or you can run. Oh, they get out so fast.
great disengage from Dallas.
Und deswegen ist Lucy so nice. Wirklich einfach deinen E-Button
Eventually, they need to actually be able to move the objective back.
und du bist weg.
Dallas pushed up pretty far. They don't have the checkpoint, so the bot
Okay, Violet's dead. Unfortunate.
period. And with 3 minutes on the clock, you think you just burn clock here? It's going to be tough for the fuel to push up.
Edison finds the overclock here to break the deadlock.
Okay.
But what is this flank? What is this audacity?
Auf Mission. Kriegt vielleicht nicht viel gemacht, aber Zeit.